What's up? What's up, party people? We are back with a brand new edition. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jen. I'm your manifestation bestie, where I teach you how to leverage the law of assumption to work in your favor. I already know that sounds goody, so click that follow button, subscribe button, wherever you're watching from. Also, if you're interested in having me manifest for you, or you want to work with me one-on-one to find out where you're going wrong so you can get your shit right, I'm your girl. That's what I'm here for. Okay, I'm here to get you results. Like, that's the whole point. The whole fucking point is to get you results. Okay? So, and I'm good at it. I manifested my SP back from no contact to living with me in a matter of 4 weeks. I'm here to help you do the same. What's up, the Ray Boo? What's up, Nadine, AJ, Lisa, girlfriend? Taylor Morgan, I see you here, bitch. Hey, Brittany. Okay, so let's discuss a couple things. Okay, first of all, how to manifest looks. What up, Haley, girlfriend? Okay, so to manifest looks, literally, hey, baby, hey, fire sign, you have to see what it is that you want. What is it that you want to look like? Okay, maybe there's some kind of imperfection you see within yourself. That's fine. You can kill that imperfection, okay, by just identifying as something else, loving on yourself, okay, looking at yourself in the mirror. Mirror technique works the mirror work works really well when you're working on self-concept, image, things like that. So you want to tell yourself something. You can placebo your looks if you want. You can be like, every time I drink water, I get hotter, right? Like, you know, if there's a celebrity you want to look like, then identify as looking just like that celebrity. If there's anything you've got at all, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. What up, Shanzi? Hey, kitty cat cat. Okay, so anything that you want, it doesn't matter. Okay, but we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about something today that I realized. Okay, so you guys know, hey, J Rose girlfriend. Good, Brittany. Look at that. Look at that, Brittany. It's not hard to lose weight. Who says it's got to be hard? That's right. You have the best body. Your subconscious mind knows what that is for you. Okay. But we're going to talk about a couple things because it's something that I realized. Okay. As you guys know that I'm always telling you that if you have an intrusive thought, a negative thought, you have to flip the thought. But let's clarify what that means. Okay. That's right. No diet, no exercise. That's right, sister. Who needs to do that shit? Okay. But your negative thoughts, here's what you have to understand is you have to flip the thought, okay? You can't just be like, no, and affirm. I realize this, okay? I know, Andy, like, seriously, did you see he commented on your shit, bitch? So, moving in the right direction. I love a good movement, okay? And I'll get to you, Demi, in a second, okay? But hey, prima donna sister, but you have to understand, you have to flip the thought. You can't just shove it aside and affirm. You actually have to take, so like, let's say you have a thought of like, is he going to take me on a date? Right? Is he gonna, or you're like, I don't know if he's going to take me. I don't know if he's going to show up tonight. Like, let's say he says he's going to come see you. And you're like, I don't know if he's going to come see me tonight. Is he actually going to come? You can't be like, he is so in love with me. He wants to marry me. Like, no, you can't do that. You actually have to address the thought. Okay. Because you have to be like, no, he's absolutely coming to see me right now. He's literally going to come see me today. He always keeps his word. Right? You have to tell yourself the opposite of the intrusive thought you had. Because if you don't, that is still random. That is still manifesting. That's still manifesting. Okay. And I didn't realize that until I had a negative intrusive thought. That's movement, prima donna, bitch. You could have picked any other picture. Okay. I had a negative intrusive thought, but I was just like, no. And I affirmed, but that also pushed out. Okay. The negative thought literally pushed out. I thought about it one time. Okay. So you have to, and it pushed out within 24 hours, 48 hours max. Okay. So you do need to flip that thought. Okay. Don't just affirm through it. Don't just shove it aside and affirm. No, flip whatever the thought was. Tell yourself the fucking opposite. Literally. Okay. Because if you don't, it's still manifesting, even if you're even if you're going about your day and affirming for what you want, you still, that's that negative thought that you had that you did not flip is still manifesting. Okay, so let's flip the thought. Okay, we need to flip the thought like now. Okay, like every thought. Thanks, Haley girlfriend. Okay, so if I had to manifest an SP and if I had to manifest my SP in 1 week, what would my day today look like? I would be affirming as often as possible. And the reason I would be affirming as often as possible, Demi, is to drown the dead airspace, okay? To control my thoughts, okay? So that I don't give an intrusive thought a fucking option, okay? An option at all, because therefore there's no stalling of progress. There's no wavering. There's no none of that shit. So instead I'd bunker my ass down, I'd lock it in, and I would not waver from it. Okay, no matter what I saw. If you could not check the 3D for a week, great. Don't check the 3D, meaning don't stalk the social media profiles, because that's really how you guys are checking the 3D. Okay, so that's what I would do, and I would affirm for what it is that I wanted, and I wouldn't waver from it. That's why I would affirm a majority of my day, and then I would fall asleep in an affirmation. That's what I would do, because if you're only affirming like in sessions, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying that that's not going to work, but you're also having a lot of intrusive thoughts coming through. So you'd have to flip each and every one of those. But if you just affirmed, you would dramatically minimize the amount of intrusive thoughts that come in. Dramatically minimize it. Okay. Because it's easy to have that. It's easy for us to sit there and look at the worst case scenario, or to have some negative thought against what we want pop into our head. And they'd be like, no, that's crazy. Like, that's not going to happen. That's crazy. And then, I'm sorry, my bestie wants to know what the 3D is. But then it manifests. Okay. So therefore it's like, I don't want to give anything. You're welcome, Bella girlfriend. I don't want to give anything another fucking option. Nothing another option. Look at this. She did the photo method and her SP reached out to her. Of course he did. Of course he did. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he, Bella? Have you seen yourself, sister? Okay, so that's what I would do. Okay, Mariana. So if you have a negative intrusive thought about a third party, I have to think there's no such thing. No. So that depends. If you have confirmation of a third party, then of gutter trash, if you have confirmation of gutter trash, then yeah, you would need to affirm against her. Okay. Or fill in the narrative. And then, but if you don't have confirmation and you're only thinking like, what if there's someone else? Then yes, you need to flip that thought back. Absolutely not. He's like, he would never talk to anybody but me. Like, I'm the love of his life. Right. So you would flip that thought against the third party, against gutter trash, especially if you don't have confirmation. But if you have confirmation, then I strongly suggest you affirm against her, because that works really, really fast. Is if you work against gutter trash. Okay. So, that's what I would do. Good afternoon, Liz, sister. Okay. So that's where, do I need to send you a voice note on the link? Yes, AJ. Yes. Send me that, girlfriend. What up, Elena? Also, last night I had 2 guys from my past messaging me. I'm sure you did, Andy. I'm sure you did. So, Andy, take a look at the description that you have of the 2 guys from your past that messaged you, okay? What is the description that you have of them? And what is it that you know about them? Okay, so basically, take a look at those and then pop those in SP, okay? Because that's what will clarify the issue. Because you're already getting movement, right? Now we want contact. So now it's like, okay, So now we want contact. So instead, you have to sit there and take a look at the two guys that actually reached out to you. You will find that you know certain things about them, or and your description of them is somewhat good, right? So therefore, that's why they messaged you. That's why they reached out to you. They're picking up on your hot ass energy, bitch. Priya, falling asleep in affirmation is like, you would go asleep and you'd be like, I'm the love of his life. 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 And then you fall asleep. It sounds complicated, but it's not. Because I was like, let's try it out. I was like, how do you fall asleep while you're saying something, right? It's not difficult at all. Like within a minute, you're passing out by saying your affirmation. But what you'll notice is if you say an affirmation about your SP before you fall asleep, or Taylor, in your situation, maybe money, before you fall asleep, you will start to notice that your SP starts to show up in your dreams. And when your SP shows up in your dreams, that means you're in his dreams. Yes. Oh, I'm trying a technique out today. I shouldn't say trying. I'm going to do a method today on somebody, and I'm going to report back to you. It should work. I'm going to report. It will work. Duh. And I'll report back to you because then you guys can do it. SP called yesterday, another 3-hour call, but still making excuses for not being there when I needed him. He's done. We need to rewrite your description or take a look at your description and the things that you're not liking in these conversations and so forth. Lisa. The conversations that you're not liking, the things that he's saying, flip those and put those in your description of your SP. Okay, so therefore, he's not making excuses about not being there when you needed him. He, in fact, he's apologizing. Like he absolutely is super remorseful for not being there when you needed him the most, you know, and so forth. And now that's a part of your description, so therefore now he conforms into what you want. Hey, Andrea. What up, bestie? Why is weight loss, money, life circumstances going my way so easy? But not SP. Okay, so there's a reason why weight loss, money, life circumstances go your way and tend to manifest rather quickly and easily versus an SP. And the reason for that is because SPs have one thing that none of those things have. A fucking mouth. A mouth. That's what they have. So because of that, money doesn't have a mouth. Okay. Same with weight loss, any of that stuff. So it's really easy to control. Weight loss, creating assumptions in weight loss is really, really easy and quick. Okay. And so forth. And money if you don't have resistance to it. But when it comes to SPs, on the other hand, SPs are, they talk. So they say things that trigger you. They say things that cause you to get in your own head and to get like confused in your own thoughts, because they're talking to you, right? They're open, and the closer you guys are, the more open they are to you. And they start telling you all kinds of things that you don't necessarily want to fucking hear, right? Or they'll tell you about their past relationships or their past experiences with women and things like that. And you have to try and not let that impact your relationship. But for a lot of people, that's a lot easier. Well, for everybody, that's a lot easier said than done. Okay. So because of that, it requires more discipline. It requires more focused attention because we have those thoughts. Like you're not walking around all day long having intrusive thoughts about weight, right? Or money, or life circumstances, unless it's like really awful. But you're not walking around thinking about that all day long. Plus, you don't really have a lot of inner conversations when it comes to things like that versus an SP. SP, you got a lot of inner conversations that are manifesting, and that's where you guys have to pay attention to the inner conversations. Because your inner conversations are extremely powerful, extremely powerful. And if you don't flip them to what you want and you just shove it aside and affirm over it, it's still manifesting because that's an inner conversation, okay? Because you have to understand is when you affirm, affirming is where you are working to create an assumption. Okay. But your inner conversations are things that you're not necessarily dwelling on all day long. It's a random thought that you have or something like that. And that plays out because inner conversations, think Shanzy girlfriend, because inner conversations are very, very powerful because you don't have inner conversations with your bestie, your subconscious mind, unless it's true for you. Okay, unless it's true for you, which is why I say if you're going to have inner conversations, you should have it be all focused on contacting you and how much they love you and how great of a relationship you have and all of that stuff. Because having just an inner conversation real quick, it could be a one-liner that you had. That's what your subconscious mind has one job, to prove you right. Okay, to prove you right. So you only have inner conversations about things that are supposed to be true for you. That's why you have inner conversations about it. Okay. So therefore it pushes it out. Where affirming is where you're working to create an assumption so that pushes out and keeps pushing out and keeps pushing out. But the inner conversations, probably way more powerful than anything else, because again, that shit manifests real fucking fast. And it's usually the negative, because usually you're having inner conversations about the negative shit or worst case scenario, or what if this, what if that. No matter how silly it fucking sounds, right? Because a lot of times you'll sit there and be like, that's so fucking stupid. Why would you think that way? But you can't just tell yourself that. You have to tell yourself the opposite, because if not, your subconscious mind is like, you're right. And it pushes out and it'll come out of left fucking field for you. Left field for you, because it's not something you dwelled on. It's not something you thought about often. It's like you literally had an inner conversation one fucking time, and then you're like, wait, what the hell? And you feel like it came out of nowhere. It was completely unexpected, right? Because you only thought about it once and you didn't flip that shit. And I don't mean flip it with an affirmation. Okay. Ellie, is it normal that you don't affirm as much anymore? It's entirely up to you. Is it normal? I wouldn't say yes or no. There's not a yes or no answer to that. As long as you're in control of your thoughts, then you don't have to affirm. You don't have to affirm your life away if you can discipline your mind and check your inner conversations and check your thoughts that are coming up throughout the day. And if it's going against what you want, well, then you need to flip it. You don't necessarily have to affirm. You just have to flip it. I choose to affirm to discipline my mind. That's just a personal preference of mine. It could be, Natalie. It could be. Like, I got off the phone today with somebody who manifested their SP back 4 times. 4 times. But it wouldn't go beyond conversation. Why? Like, they were making plans on the whole bit. But why? Because sometimes your insecurities will get the best of you. Okay. Sometimes your insecurities will get the best of you because your insecurities are going against what you want. They're going against what you want. So it's like, and it's not obvious necessarily. So it's like, somebody, like, if you don't feel like you're the priority, right? So then they're saying they're going to come see you tonight. And it's kind of silly for you to be like, are they really? Because why would they say they were going to come see you if they're not, right? But your insecurity of not feeling like you're the priority, not feeling important to them, is what's creating them not coming around, because you're over here wondering if they're actually going to come, which is silly because they wouldn't have made the plans if they weren't planning on coming. They just wouldn't have said anything. Right. But still it's pushing out. They're pulling back because your insecurities are fucking up your manifestation. They are. And so, because oftentimes you'll literally sit there and think, your insecurity will creep up and you'll think against what you want. And it's impacting it. So therefore it's like that now they're saying something that matches said insecurity, right? Because remember, everything pushes out. Okay. What's up, Lindsay girlfriend? So they're saying something that matches your insecurity when it comes to them or men in general, right? Because remember, not all your insecurities are coming from, not all things come from your SP. Okay. We have assumptions about men in general. just like men have assumptions of women in general. Okay. Society does not help with that. Okay. That's why we have stereotypes, because it's grouping people together. Right. And saying, and then you notice it. Like, you notice it. Have you ever noticed that? Where like there will be stereotypes and I'm like, well, there's only a stereotype because it's a trend, right? But there's truth to every stereotype because it matches that, because we hold stereotypes and we end up conforming to them even though we don't realize that. So same with men and women, you should take a look at your assumptions of the gender at whole, because it's pushing out to your SP. It's also pushing out to all of your other exes are playing their part, but it may not necessarily have to do with an ex at all. It could have to do with the gender itself, right? Like all men are cheaters, right? So if you're saying like all men, all women, like my brother says that all the time. He's like, all women are bitches. So that's his assumption of the sex in general. So therefore, or some men think they're more superior than women. So therefore, they run their relationships like that because they believe in gender roles. You see what I'm saying? So we have to take a look at the gender itself. And if you have assumptions when it comes to the opposite sex as a whole, you need to change those. You need to change them, because every one of your exes is going to play their part in matching that gender role. Okay, because it happened once and maybe it happened and then you thought about it again, it happened again, and then boom, now you're like, all men are this way. Or your parents have told you something about the opposite sex, your friends told you something about the opposite sex, right? All of these different things, and they're tainting your thoughts about the gender itself. Yeah. Right, Brittany. So why don't you go back to that? Okay. You know exactly what you're doing. But oftentimes when it confirms, now here we are, Brittany, you need to break the pattern. Okay. Because a lot of people do things real easily up front. Okay. But you need to break the pattern if you've noticed that other SPs in your past have also conformed very quickly. And so you need to keep going, and you need to live in the honeymoon stage forever. Every one of you guys should be living in the honeymoon stage forever when it comes to your SP. There's not a honeymoon stage. See, this is where society fucks you up, right? Everything's great at first. That's what I always tell you that. Oh, you're in the honeymoon stage. Oh, you had an argument. Oh, the honeymoon stage is over. And that's what you think. So therefore your relationship becomes tumultuous and rocky after that, because somebody said, or even you said, the honeymoon stage is over. Okay. No. Every day is a fucking honeymoon stage. Everything's a honeymoon stage. That's right, Steph. We don't call third parties. We call them gutter trash around here. Because third parties imply competition. Gutter trash implies no competition. What the fuck? Who competes with trash? I don't. I will never compete with trash. Okay, so you affirm against her, Mariana, by this. Okay, so I only have two hands. This is you. This is SP and gutter. This is SP and this is gutter trash. Okay, right now they're like this. So instead, you need to. This is where we leverage the law of assumption. Okay, is everyone is you pushed out. So everyone in your reality must show up based on your assumptions of them, including gutter trash, because she's in your reality right now. Okay. So she has to show up based on your assumptions of her. So what is it you want to assume about her? There's only two identities you can never give gutter trash, and that is controlling and manipulative. If you describe them as control, even if it's blatantly obvious, it doesn't matter. If you describe them as controlling or manipulative, they must continue to be controlled and manipulated by their SP, even if they're aware of it. They can't help it, because that's how you're describing this person in your reality. So instead, you need to describe her in a way that benefits you. So it'd be something like, I like crazy personally. So that's my personal preference. So you can say she's fucking crazy because they conform within 24 hours or less to the way you describe this bitch. Okay. So she's fucking crazy. Okay. Or you can say she's freaking, she's crazy, she's freaking psychotic, she's a raging bitch, whatever you want, okay? And then you affirm again. So you can keep them simple. What I said is he can't stand her. He's disgusted by her. He wants nothing to do with her. All they do is argue. That's a good one. All they do is argue and she's gone away, okay? So now when you can also just say he fucking hates her. Everything she does annoys his ass and she's gone away. Or she's found someone else, she's gone away. Whatever you want, okay? Because what's going to happen is when you start affirming against gutter trash, you create the wedge. All you have to do is create the wedge. That's it. Gutter trash plays her part perfectly in aiding in your manifestation. So you don't have to worry about her, okay? Because she's going to do what you did, what everybody else does to save their relationship. Right? You built the wedge. Now all she's going to try to do is force the 3D. We all know how forcing the 3D works. It doesn't. Okay? It backfires. So all that's going to do is push your SP away from gutter trash. And as you're also affirming for you and SP, he turns around and he comes on home to mama. That's how that works. Now, you cannot view gutter trash as being an obstacle standing in between you and SP. You cannot have the assumption or the thought that you're not with SP because of gutter trash. You can't do that because that will be true because you're creating the obstacle, which means you can affirm your life away against her. As long as you believe that she's the reason you're not together, then you keep her right in place. You keep her in your reality. They could argue every fucking day of their life. It doesn't matter if you view her as the reason. So instead, you don't do that. Okay? And you have to understand that gutter trash can leave at any time. At any time. Some people have had gutter trash. Several people have had gutter trash leave immediately. Like very quickly. Other people, like myself, it took a while. But gutter trash she could leave at any time, but she could also very much be the reason you get your entire manifestation too. Okay? Because she plays her part perfectly. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. As long as you're seeing progress and movement between you and your SP, you're good to go. You're good to go. Gutter trash will exit the scene. She doesn't have a choice. That's the good part. That's the good part. It is. It is. Affirming gutter trash to be out of your life is easy and fast. It's easy and fast. I will kitty cat. Yeah, I'm telling you, this thing should work in like within 24 hours. I'll let you know. Doesn't matter how often we affirm. I have a affirmation song that plays all day in the background. No, Raybu, it does not. I don't create assumptions in you that don't benefit you. So I'm not about to sit here and be like, nope, if you don't affirm your life away, your shit ain't coming. Okay. It doesn't matter how often you affirm. However, you can have an affirmation song playing in the background all day. Like, let's say you're at work, right? I think it's really great if you're at work to have your Parrot app playing or something in your ears, because most people will listen to music or some shit like that, or a podcast, right? Well, at least listen to something that benefits your ass. Okay. So because the reason for that is because when you're working or you're doing something like focus thinking, is your mind is distracted. Your conscious mind is distracted because the conscious mind is the thinker, the analyzer, the logical part of your mind. So when you're working, your conscious mind is distracted on work, which means your subconscious mind is wide open to suggestion. So therefore, if you're doing something like that, yeah, it's going right in there, because your conscious mind is distracted. Okay. Now, if you're, again, this all comes down to the same thing. You can play all the affirmations in your Parrot app. You can have affirmations playing all day long in the Parrot app. It still doesn't matter if your thoughts are going against what you want. Okay. So you have to pay attention to your thoughts throughout the day too, because even though you may have affirmations playing on autopilot all day long, it don't matter. It don't matter, because if you're thinking against it, that's all that matters. Okay, that's the main premise of what matters, should I say. So we don't want to think against what it is that you want. So instead, we stay focused. Does anyone else have a fight with the cheese grater every time you fucking use it? Or what is it called? Yeah, grater in general. Oh, one of those like, like when you're going to like peel a carrot or a potato. I don't know why, but I have a fight with that bitch every fucking time. Every time it tears my skin. How do you revise a trespassing notice when it triggers you? It was a false allegation and unfair. Well, Callie, usually they are false allegations. And unfair. But trespassing notice doesn't seem very serious to me, at least. But if you want to revise a trespassing notice when it triggers you, you can literally be like, no, the trespassing note, like what trespassing note? I've never had a violation at all. I've never violated the law. I've never had a trespassing notice, ever, right? I've never had any legal problems, ever, right? I've never is implying exactly that, never, okay? So it would be whatever you want to say. That's the revision, is you've never had it. Or you can go back and visualize a different outcome. I mean, I can see how you would do that with the trespassing notice. Maybe you just walked through and there was no cop, right? There was no cop, no ticket, and you just walked through. Whatever that is. So you can easily visualize it, but I like affirming against it when the intrusive thought comes up. Okay. Especially if it triggers you. But girl, let that shit go. Yeah, Dawn, he's only bringing it up because you, somewhere in your mind, you are viewing him as constantly complaining. Okay, maybe that's how you're describing him in your mind, as a complainer, as you can never do anything right. He blames me for everything, or he never takes accountability. You can literally have any one of those as a way you're seeing him. Okay, not necessarily bad because you guys talk all the time. Okay, but it's so your description of a whole isn't bad of him, obviously, but this seems to be a trend, okay, of the blame game. So instead, I do believe that you somewhere have an assumption that he just blames you for everything. That is a part of how you're describing him, even though a majority of your description is great. So you need to pepper that shit in. You need to pepper it in that, no, he thinks I am perfect. He literally thinks I am perfect. He doesn't blame me for shit. I can do no wrong in his eyes. He takes accountability for everything. Like, he has nothing but remorse over the things that he's done in our relationship, right? All of those things you can tell yourself that go against what he's currently doing now. What up, Convicted Chaos? Hasty Secret Friend. I forget to read my affirmations 5 times, but I still read my perfect partner story twice a day. Good. The Rabu, you can. You don't need to read your affirmations 5 times. You just need to say, you could literally pick 1 or 2 affirmations and just say those throughout your day, right? I'm not saying you have to do them all day long, but you could just do them throughout your day whenever you think about it. Because the key is to not think in alignment with what you... Yeah, that's right, Taylor. There's going to be money in your dreams, bitch. But you might actually, Taylor, find yourself going shopping in your dreams, right? Doing things that imply money is not an issue. Money's not an issue. Okay. But back to you, Raybu. You have to pay attention to your thoughts. Okay. So if you don't have to affirm, but if you're forgetting to affirm, but yet you're spending a couple days, like you're spending a couple, hours a day thinking against what you want, you can't do that. You can't do that. This is where the discipline comes in. This is where it takes a little bit of self-control. Good, Andy, good. I was thinking about Haley's comment, do a method on me for funsies. And what up, Lisa with the butterfly? Hey, Steven. Hey, Soul, because The thing that I'm applying, that I'm actually doing, well, I haven't started yet. I'm going to do it today. Well, my assumption is manifest, so I know it's going to work quickly and be highly effective. So I'm thinking that maybe there's a couple of you I'll test it out on. But you won't know. Just letting you know. You won't know. But I'll know. Honeymoon, you have to describe him differently. Okay, you can't describe your SP as being mean or distant, because distant implies exactly that, not close, not communicating with you, being cold, standoffish, right? Things like that. And then being mean, he has to play his part. Remember, they always have to play their part. So their only job is to confirm. It's only to confirm. So if they're being mean, that is because you're describing him as being mean. So he has to be mean to you. He literally doesn't have a choice. He has to be mean to you because that's your description of him. Same with distance. He literally can't be around you all the time or contact you all the time because you think he's being distant. We can't describe them that way. Literally, you need to act exactly how your name is. Honeymoon. Honeymoon. Do you understand, honeymoon? Because this is exactly why he's being hot and cold. He's being hot and cold because you're describing him as mean and distant, hot and cold. Okay? He says he does not trust you, but it is because I do not trust him. No. That's not what everyone is you pushed out means. Everyone is you pushed out does not mean they're a reflection of yourself. Okay, because if that's the case, everyone would treat you the exact same, and they don't. It's everyone is based on their assumption. Everyone in your reality is based on your assumptions of them. So if he's saying that he doesn't trust you, that is because somewhere he has made a comment at some point in time, or he did something or said something that caused you, even if you thought about it one time, to think he doesn't trust you. He doesn't believe you. Right? Things like that, because maybe he questioned you at one time. And then you might have even said that to him, like, what, you don't trust me? And then now he did it again. So now it confirms to you, because you're like, see, he did it again. It only takes 2 times to create an assumption. Okay, so now it's like, oh, he did it again. Okay, so now we got a whole fucking pattern. And now he says he doesn't trust you because that is something that you said that you don't think he trusts you. And you may not have said those words, but it was something in alignment with trust and him trusting you. Therefore, he pushed it out and said he doesn't trust you. Okay, because you might have questioned, you questioned in your own self if he trusted you. Or questioned if he trusted you, should I say. Yeah, of course, Taylor, you do, because there's a lot of money resistance, a lot of limiting beliefs around money comes from when you were a child. The majority of them come from when you were a child, because it came from sources of influence, right? What are some things that your parents would tell you, right? One, maybe you maybe you're raised by a single mom. And so you saw your mom have to work really hard just to support you. Okay. And maybe she had 2, 3 jobs or whatever, or, money was really tight in your household. Okay. Or what do parents like to tell their children, even if it's fact for you, right? Is they want something and parents like to say, we can't afford that, or we have to save for this, or money doesn't grow on trees, even though technically it does. Money is the root of all evil. All of these things that we grow up seeing, or you saw your parents fight constantly over money, right? Or maybe they got a divorce and had a very nasty divorce over money, right? Things like that are what causes you to have negative thoughts about money. Versus if you were to say, I've always had plenty of money, like we've always had plenty of money. Okay. Then that implies you never had any money problems. Okay. So I would do things like that when it comes to money, because typically it's all stems from childhood. So if you as a parent are telling your child that you can't afford that, stop doing that. You don't have to say that. You could just be like, not right now, honey. You don't have to give, thanks, Mary. You don't have to give an actual explanation to a child. You do know that, right? You could literally just be like, not today. The answer is no. And then if you find yourself saying, I can't afford that, don't say that. Don't say that. Instead, this is a subconscious mind little hack in case you want money. If you find yourself saying you can't afford that, instead ask yourself, how can I afford that? How can I afford that? That's very different, because saying I can't afford that, subconscious mind is like, well, can't afford that, job done. Takes you at your word, right? Versus if you say, how can I afford that? Now your subconscious mind has to get to work. Okay? Let's make our subconscious mind work a little. Because then your subconscious mind's like, good question. How can we afford that? So then it activates your RAS, your reticular activator system, and starts scanning your surroundings 24/7, looking for ways on how you can afford that. And then listen to the random thoughts that pop in your head, because that's your subconscious mind telling you exactly how you can afford that. You're welcome. Hey, Sarah Elizabeth girlfriend. Can you do an inner conversation as an example? Okay, yeah, Callie. So it's they're random thoughts that come into play, or scenarios that you're saying in your mind. So you can literally be like, he says, I'm coming over to see you tonight. I want to come see you tonight. And you're like, okay. And then as it gets closer to that time, and he, I guess, didn't confirm, like it's a fucking reservation, you'll be like, what if he doesn't come over tonight? What if he gets busy? Like, is he going to actually come over? What if he changes his mind? Maybe he's not going to come over. He's going to go out with his friends instead, right? It'll be random things like that. And then boom, he doesn't come over, right? Or you're living together and you're like, what if he decides he wants to move out? That's literally all you thought about one time. And then boom, he wants to move out, right? Then let's say you don't hear from him for 6 hours. Some of you guys will be like 2 minutes, okay? But you don't hear from him for 6 hours. Thanks, Just Nikki. And so it's like, now you have an inner conversation saying, why hasn't he text me back yet? Why did he read my message, but he didn't respond? Like, why isn't he responding? That's an inner conversation, or maybe he's not responding because he's with gutter trash, or, that's an inner conversation. Is he messing with other people? I don't know. He's been acting funny lately, because now you're getting hot and cold behavior. And you're like, he's been acting distant lately. Like, is he talking to somebody else? Maybe he's seeing somebody else. I wonder if he's talking to somebody. That's an inner conversation. And again, it can only be one thought that comes up that goes against what you want. And then boom, all of a sudden gutter trash appears. Okay. Is he pulling away? He's been acting weird lately. Like, I'm not seeing him as often as usual. So are we okay? Is our relationship okay? Does he still care about me? Inner conversation. Okay. Demi, but I'm only having good inner conversation about my SP. Nothing changes. Give us some examples of inner conversations to manifest SP. So this is again where, let's say you're not in contact with your SP. Okay. So instead of thinking about, I haven't talked to my boyfriend and I have not talked to my SP in 6 months. It's been a while. Is he ever going to call me again? Does he even think about me? Instead of having a conversation like that, you would say something like, you would focus a majority of your inner conversations on contact, because that's your first hurdle to get over is contact. So it would be something like, yeah, he has to talk to me all the time. Talking to me is the best part of his day. He texts me good morning every single freaking day. He's always talking to me. And these are, again, not you don't have to have this whole conversation to yourself, but you should have thoughts randomly throughout the day that are inner conversations that are saying, yeah, no, he's totally going to contact me right now because he misses me. He's totally missing me right now and he's going to contact me. He cannot stop talking to me. I know every day that goes by that we don't talk, he does not have a good day. Every day we don't talk, he does not have a good day. I'm the only like he has to talk to me every day because I'm the best part of his day. He loves our conversations. Like, and I know he's missing that every second. You see what I'm saying? So those are inner conversations when it comes to the step before what it is you want. Before what it is you, what are the step before, the step before, the step of where you're at. So if you don't have a good inner conversation, if you're not in contact, yes, Jacques, I will give you your psychic reading today. But if you're not in good contact, you would have to, if you're not in contact, your majority of your inner conversations should be about contact. Okay. Because therefore now he's contacting you, right? And that's what you want versus, what you don't want, which is focusing on, the fact that you're not speaking, that a lot of time has gone by, and what if he met somebody else? What if he's moved on? Like, instead of having those intrusive thoughts coming through, those negative inner conversations, you should be all focused about that first step when it comes to your SP. Yeah, Taylor, a lot of people make that assumption. Okay. I used to always want to be a teacher, a high school teacher, actually, because I thought little kids, high school teachers, though, I feel like I get them. Okay. I connect with high schoolers. So I thought that I'd be a great high school teacher. And I'll never forget, I know exactly where I was when this took place, in the car with my parents. We were leaving the Sizzler. By the way, Sizzler fucking still slaps. But we were leaving the Sizzler. We were at a stoplight. I told my dad I wanted to be a teacher. And you know what my fucking dad said? He's like, well, you better marry someone rich because teachers are broke. I was like, damn. But ironically enough, if you were to think back when you were a child, what did you want to do for a living? You most likely are in an industry very similar to what it is that you want to do as a child, right? I want to be a teacher. Do I teach? Yes. I coach. That's a teacher, right? So a lot of times what your career actually ends up being is something you actually wanted to be as a child in a similar industry. But that's a lot of people are trained that society teaches you that you have to work hard to make money. Like that's how society is. And I always tell people, I said, that's not true. Like, cause I coach a lot of entrepreneurs, and I said, if all you had to do is work hard to make money, don't you think every entrepreneur would be rich? Yeah, but you don't, but they're not, right? Because it's not about working hard to make money. Instead, just like if it was all about working hard to make money, then why the fuck why do we have salaries, right? Because there's a lot of people that work really, really hard in their corporate career for shit. They get the same pay, whether they work their ass off or they don't, right? Because they're there for 9 goddamn hours every day. So that's where you can rewire the assumption, Taylor, but at the same time, you should, because you have to leverage, okay? You have to leverage. And so oftentimes, if you do believe right now that you have to work hard to make money, well then shit, bitch, you are the busiest bitch in the world. Yeah. Like, work is so busy, I can't even keep up with the demand. I cannot even keep up with the clientele because I am so damn busy at work. You see what I'm saying? Because you can override the assumption, but why not just get started now by matching that assumption and saying, all right, look, that's what I believe right now. I'm going to change that belief, but shit, bills got to be paid. So I may as well make it work for me at the current second and leverage what it is that I believe. So instead of working hard, it's like, no, my business just comes to me. Business just comes to me, bitch. You see what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I'm just busy. I'm so damn busy. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. And then when I come to your neck of the woods and you can, do my hair, bitch, do my hair. All right, Nicole. That's right. She said, oh my, hi Jen. OMG, your method worked. I did it twice. And he texted me after ghosting me for 3 weeks. That's right, Nicole. Now leverage that. Okay. Leverage that. So it's like, if I can do this method and get him to text me after ghosting me for 3 weeks, and I only did it twice, what else can I leverage that method for? Okay. So it's like, okay, I can leverage that method for commitment, relationship, right? How he feels about me. Let me tell him how he fucking feels about me. And all of that stuff, because it's no different. It's no different. It's the same thing. So now you can sit there and you can do it and have this whole ass conversation with this man about everything that he does for you and how he feels about you. But be prepared. Be prepared. And don't be surprised if he says it back to you. Because oftentimes they will say it back to you. That's the fun part. That's the fun part, when they repeat it back to you. No, Nicole. No. Don't do that. Do not take your power away. Okay, do not take your power away, because the fact is, you might have accidentally called him. He did not have to call you back. A lot of people get texts and calls from their SPs and don't fucking talk to them. Okay, so that's not why he called you back. Yeah, Lisa, when you do the cord cutting, what you do is have everybody in the back of the stage, okay? And so then you walk up, or you have each of them walk up at a separate time. Each of them walk up one at a time, and then you say the 4 things. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, and then cut the cords with all of them. And then watch them all fucking float away. It sure is, Nicole. It sure is, because you could have called him at any time. I love a good butt dial. Love a good accidental call. Because I don't think he was the last person you spoke to in your phone, and you just happen to push that button of most recent call, right? Mindy, what if SP is... Oh, and thanks, Just Nikki, bitch. Love you, girlfriend. What if SP is telling you everything that's going on about gutter trash? How do you respond to that? Yeah, see, listen, I know, Mindy. This is why I laugh at people that are in no contact with their SPs, and they be triggered about every fucking thing under the sun, because it's all hypotheticals. It's all hypotheticals. They're making up stories in their fucking minds. But when you're actually in contact with your SP and there's gutter trash, you get to hear it. It requires another level of discipline when it comes to your mind. So one, Mindy, don't worry about what he's saying unless it's what you want to hear. Persist moving forward when it comes to gutter trash, because you will get confirmation. You don't have to ask about gutter trash. You will get confirmation, okay? Now, how do you respond to when he's talking about gutter trash? All you can do is sympathize with him. Less is more. Less is more. No one likes to be told that they're wrong. No one likes to be told something other than what they want to hear, okay? So they could be talking about all these things about how he fucking hates her and all this stuff, and you could be like, I told you that this wasn't going to work. I told you that she was bad for you. You can't do that. You can't do that, because he'll pull back, because no one wants to hear about it, right? No one wants to hear about that shit at all. I told you this. I told you so, basically. Or to bash her too. You can't do that either, because that's forcing the 3D, right? So it's like, he's like, yeah, she's just fucking annoying. She's so annoying right now. And you're just like, I know, she's a complete piece of shit. Like, you can't do that either, okay? So the best thing you can do is just listen to him talk and then be like, I'm sorry going through that. That's all you can do. Is what you should, because that's what I did, is you listen to them and then in your mind, smile, and but sympathize with him on the outside, but don't attack, and don't parrot what he's saying, okay? Instead, discipline yourself and be like, that's right. And I'm going to keep persisting and keep persisting and keep fucking persisting, because I got this. Don't worry, honey. Let me help you out. You want see organically zen skincare? That's your calling. You're gonna be a rock star. You already are a rock star, bitch. Nope, that's what they say, CC. Teachers quit and it has nothing to do with the children. It has everything to do with the parents. They said, you tried to tell, and they interviewed a bunch of teachers, and that's what they said. They said, they said the problem isn't the kids, it's the fucking parents. They're like, because when you try to tell the parents about their child, they're like, that's not my kid. They get all defensive. And I was like, I'm the first person that would have been like, oh, that sounds about right. Right? Because they get all defensive as if they're under some fucking false assumption that their child at school is the same way they are at home. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're most likely the complete opposite of what they are at home because you're not there. You know? Lisa with the butterfly, that's all right. Fucking nightmare. Don't read into it. Don't read into it. Okay. The last thing people should ever do is decipher their dream. Don't do that. Like, don't do that. Do not decipher your dream. Because if you decipher your dream, it taints your thoughts. It really taints your thoughts and don't pop your dreams into ChatGPT. Do not do that. ChatGPT is not a therapist, just so you know. Okay? ChatGPT has one job, and that's to scour the internet for anyone who wrote an article on that shit. That's literally their only job. Their only job is to scour the internet and look for content that people have written on the subject. So whatever ChatGPT is spitting out is someone else's opinion. That's all it is. There's no facts. It's someone else's assumption and someone else's opinion. And now you've taken it because Claude said so. And you're like, damn, I put my dream into ChatGPT and it said this about my boyfriend. So is he fucking cheating on me? Like, it said he has trust issues and he's very insecure in this relationship. Oh, okay. Is that what ChatGPT said? But now here you are looking at him differently. Here you are getting your thoughts tainted by what the fuck a dream was about. Instead, you just take the characters of your dream and be like, yeah, that's right. That's right. He's in love with me. Even though he tried to kill me in my dream, he absolutely is in love with me. Yeah, Lisa, the whole kids are great these days in career day. My daughter comes walking out for career day and she was like in second grade. And she comes walking out and I'm like, what exactly are you supposed to be? She had a pair of headphones here and just looked normal. And I was like, what exactly are you supposed to be? She's like, I'm an influencer. I was like, oh, that's career. I mean, that's career goals of children these days. I love that for us. But I guess, what is she now? Somewhat of an influencer. She got 12,000 followers. She doesn't show her face at all on social media. You wouldn't know who she is because she doesn't show her face. All she does is make edits of these 3 chicks that she likes on TikTok. But yet she's making sales. She makes at least 1 to 2 sales a day. And now she's up to 13,000 followers on TikTok. So I'm just like, so I guess there we go. Career chosen. Damn, hair school is 30 grand? Shit, I had no idea it's that much money to cut hair. Damn. That's intense. He's just being mean sometimes. But we are talking after no contact. Good. So honeymoon persists though, because this is what happens when they come back in contact with you. Oftentimes when they come back in contact with you, you get hot and cold behavior. Bits and pieces of old version, bits and pieces of new version, but you can't run your relationship the same way you ran it in the past because it's going to end the exact fucking same way. Okay. So you can't run it the same way that you did in the past. Now, Unless it was good. Unless it was good. If you ran your relationship the same way, like good the last time, then great. I'm not saying that because your thoughts are what caused your breakup 1000%. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you were a bitch and you fucking fought all the time and, and you were a chronic complainer and yelled and screamed at them all the time. That doesn't necessarily mean that. Okay. I mean, you could have had like me and my boyfriend, we had a great relationship. We never argued ever. Like any of that stuff. We still don't argue. Right. So it's like when you have that kind of relationship, it still doesn't mean you didn't cause your breakup. You did because you questioned your relationship. So therefore the breakup happened. But if the relationship itself was not bad, you can run it the same, but you need to discipline your mind. And you need to know, all of you need to know that when your SPs come back, oftentimes you will get hot and cold behavior. That's where the growth happens. You can't react to the cold behavior. It's really easy to assume perfect boyfriend and everything is great when everything is great. But when all of a sudden they got a little bit of an attitude or you notice something different where their behavior starts to change, well, that takes another letter. That's when the discipline comes in. That's when you got to be like, oh, no. Not today, bitch. Not today. Okay? And persist in only the version of your SP that you want. So you can't react to the cold behavior of him sometimes being mean. Nope. He talks to me like an angel. He doesn't have a mean bone in his body when it comes to me. Okay, tips for how to stop worrying about time, even in the back of my mind. Yeah, Ken, I honestly just don't think about it, right? It's like, what are you counting down for? You know what I'm saying? Like you were worried about the time when you were in your relationship with your SP, right? Like you weren't like counting down to the days of the breakup. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now you don't need to worry about the time because worrying about the time creates more time. Okay. Cause you're like, I haven't talked to her in 4 months. And tomorrow it's like, I haven't talked to her in 4 months and a day. I haven't talked to her in a while. And you keep talking about that or how long is this going to take? That goes against what you want. So if you're worrying about how long you've been in no contact, how long things have been, and you're focused on time when it comes to that, you're pushing out more time because you're like, okay, well, it's been 4 months. Well, you better sit around and wait for another 4 months then, because that's all you're doing is creating more time. Versus like, well, I've been doing this for like 3 weeks now. When is she going to contact me? That's telling your subconscious mind that you're not in contact, that it's not happening. It's not here yet. Okay. So then they're like, yeah, you're right. So keep doing it. Keep doing it because it's not here yet versus like, absolutely not. Everything should be right now. Okay. So it's like, no, waited long enough. Waited long enough. If you think I'm going to go another 8 months, that was my draw stick. I wasted 8 months with that law of attraction shit. So if you think I'm going to go another 8 months, I don't think so. I don't think so. So I couldn't tell you how long I was affirming before we came back in contact because I wasn't counting the time. I was just doing it, knowing that this is going to happen. Okay, period. Because when you don't worry about the time, shit shows up because you're not pushing on the time. You're not focused on the time. You're just like, nope, I'm just going to do. I'm just going to do. And then it pushes out because there's no time involved there. So I really would not focus on the time. And if you do find yourself in the time, flip it and be like, no, actually right now, she's contacting me right now. It's been 4 months since I've talked to her. Not anymore. Yeah, it's been 4 months since I talked to her until yesterday when she contacted me. Okay, like make it work for you. So if you're like, that's the thing. You guys have to know where you're faulting because you have to make it work for you instead of against you. So if you're worried about the time, then this is where you leverage the law. Make time work for you instead of against you, right? So it's like, if you're worried about time, like, yeah, and every second that goes by, she falls more in love with me. Every second we don't talk, she literally falls more in love with me. Right? So you're flipping the time scenario into something that benefits you instead of the time and it's hurting you, right? And it's hurting you because it's pushing out more time. So it's like, no, that's leverage time then. Every day every second of the day that goes by that we don't talk, because you're not saying you're not talking. You're just saying every second that we don't talk every day, every second that we don't talk, she thinks about me even more. Okay? Things like that, because now you're leveraging the time to benefit you instead of, fuck yeah. Okay? Sabina. Hi. I would like to know how can I make him change his behavior? By describing him differently. Okay, Sabina, if you want to change somebody's behavior, you need to describe them differently. You need to describe their behavior as the behavior that you want from your SP. And only that behavior that you want from your SP. Because then he will start to push that behavior out. Well, baby, do you know where I got this coffee cup? Care to guess? The Dollar Tree, bitch. $1.25. Because it's no longer the Dollar Tree, it's the $1.25 tree, but who's counting? And yes, $1.25, bitch. I got 2 of them. And did you know that apparently there's different types of glassware? I mean, I guess you probably do fucking know this. So I can put coffee, I can brew it directly in this, right? And have it not break. But then I have like a mason jar type cup. Well, if I take fucking hot coffee and put that shit in there, it fucking cracks and breaks. Go figure. Why can't they just make one type of glass? Why do we need to overcomplicate the shit? Why do I need to know what I can put in my oven, what's oven safe and what's not? Why don't you just make everything oven safe? How about that? Why do I need to know what's microwave safe? Just make everything microwave safe. Come on. It's 2026 now. For Christ's sakes. We came a long way. We came a long way. A good Tashay, good. Now persist in the gutter trash affirmations. You will see confirmation. You will never have to seek the confirmation. You will get it automatically. Okay, because he will literally talk, he will literally start saying the things in your affirmations about gutter trash. That's the fun part. When he starts literally parroting your affirmations back to you, you're like, huh? Oh, really? She's fucking crazy. Really? Everything's an argument. And just so you guys know too, you control how their day goes. You do understand you control how their day goes, especially if you know they're out with gutter trash. Okay? You control the scenario. Okay? I did this before. Where you control how you control how their day goes, literally. So like if you know that they're going out with gutter trash tonight, then you're like, he's having the worst night of his life. All they do is argue and he's completely miserable. He's literally having the most miserable time ever tonight. And he will. I did that and he came home and we ended up, no, this is the downfall. He came home, it was like midnight, and we ended up talking for like 3 hours because he had the worst night of his life. I was like, job well done, bitch. Job well done. But to him, I was like, oh, it's awful. I'm really sorry. In my mind, I was like, I ain't fucking sorry about a goddamn thing. Oh, thanks, Nicole, she said, in case you're on YouTube. She's so glad she came across me because she tried so many others, but mine is the only one that works. Yes, because I know it works. I know it works because I've done it. That's why I've done it. So now I'm like, okay, well, why can't I test other things out? My boyfriend's going to be the petri dish, guys, by the way. My boyfriend's the petri dish, and I'm going to try a bunch of different things out and then give it to you. So you guys can do it too. Duh. Okay, hi, Sheppy. Can I have a gay version of my SP? He's my friend and I fell in love with him, but he's straight. Oh, you want to change his sexual orientation? Yeah, because there's no difference. There's no difference between humans are humans. People are people. Okay, so they have to show up based on your assumptions of them. So from this point forward, guess what? Your friend, he's not straight, bitch. Because if you view your friend as being straight, they have to be straight. Okay? But if you view your friend as in love with you and actually prefers the opposite sex, well, then guess what he has to become? Now, guys, don't go on no revenge shit when you're like, oh, fuck with me, please. Fuck with me, please. Because I'm going to go ahead and change your whole sexual orientation. Don't get any crazy ideas, bitches. But in all seriousness, Chevy, yeah, you just have to, it's how you describe that person, right? So you cannot view, couple things. You cannot view your sexual orientation as being a problem. Obviously, because if it was, think realistically, if it was a problem, you wouldn't be friends with them, right? But then you also can't view him as being straight either. Because if you view him as only liking the opposite sex, he has to be that person, right? He has to continue to be that person. But if you view him having romantic feelings for you and you describing him in a way that has romantic feelings for you and you know, and is totally into you and he actually prefers, you know, guys, you know, he's totally gay. You can do that. But like I said, all you others, don't get any crazy ideas. Unless you don't like somebody, though. If you don't like somebody, on the other hand, well, then, you know, all is fair in love and war. Oh, man. Glitter sparkles. We should test that theory on somebody. And Bevy, we should test that theory on somebody. If you know what I mean. Oh, man. I have too much fun. Manifestation is supposed to be fun, so why not have fun with people? Especially if people want to cross you. I'm petty. So. Does manifesting my SP that didn't treat me that well makes me someone with low self-concept? No. You show. No. I don't, in my opinion, I don't believe it does, because your SP, let's look at it this way. When you first started dating your SP, he didn't not treat you right, right? He treated you great, or you would have never gotten a relationship with him, because nobody's like, he's such an asshole, I fucking love that shit, right? Like, no one's like that. So unless you're crazy. So no, he never treated you that way from the beginning, okay? But over the course of your relationship, he changed how he treated you because you selected the version of him that was not nice or did not treat you well based on one thing or two things. Usually it's based on how they handle disagreements and arguments, right? Thanks, I'm kitty girlfriend. Usually it's how they handle disagreement or what's said in a disagreement or an argument. Okay. So then now you've selected a version of your SP that's not nice to you, that doesn't treat you well. And so he had no choice but to play that role. Okay. So that had nothing to do with your self-concept at all. Now, could the way he treated you have affected your self-concept? Yes, it could have. Okay. Thanks, MK sister. Yes, it could have affected your self-concept because oftentimes we let guys or people we're in a relationship with impact our self-concept, right? As in like, because we take things personal. And that's why. That's the only reason your self-concept is impacted by a relationship is because you take something personal. You know, they said something and you're just like, he doesn't like me. Oh, he has this problem with me. Oh, he mentioned this and that. And so you're letting it affect your self-concept because you're listening to what the fuck he said. But that doesn't mean that you have low self, concept or low self-respect. You're just now going to select the version of him and only the version of him that you want and expect him to be for you and no other version. Okay. All right, Natalie, SP came in really hot with the photo method. We met and then no contact again for 3 weeks. Well, you can do exactly what you did to get the contact. We'll start there. Okay. We can do exactly what you did to get the contact, do the photo method. But the difference is you can't view no contact. Okay. Or like you haven't talked for 3 weeks because, well, he can't contact you. Okay. So instead you do the photo method again, but this time you need to pay attention. Okay. So thanks, Shanti sister. So therefore you have to look at it this way. Okay. So it's like, okay, we met. What happened after you met? Where were your thoughts after you met? So like, let's say you met, everything was great. You went home on cloud 9, everything was fantastic. Then you didn't hear from him the next day. Where were your thoughts at? Uh-oh. Is he going to leave again? Uh-oh. He's not talking to me again. What did I do? What happened? What did I do? Why isn't he talking to me? And now you extended no contact to 3 weeks. Versus if you didn't hear from him that day, the next day, you should have disciplined your mind and been like, no, he's actually like, he loved our time together and he can't wait to talk to me again. In fact, he can't wait to see me again. Like he is totally going to come see me tomorrow. You would have had those thoughts. The no contact would have turned right back around. The guy could have literally just been busy, or wasn't sure of where this was headed because you weren't sure. Okay. So it's like you guys met and you saw each other, but then you're unsure of what happens next. What's happening next? When are we going to hang out again? When are we going to talk again? Therefore, he wasn't sure. Therefore, he didn't contact you the next day. Okay. And then you now got all your panties in a bunch in your mind. And now you extended that time frame. So just do it again. But this time, when he contacts you today, you keep the contact. Okay. By paying attention to your thoughts about it. Okay. I think my conscious doesn't feel that my SP will be back treating, Crazy Core, I need to give you your hypnosis audio. You'll get it today. I think my conscious doesn't feel that my SP will be back treating me good. No. Your mind does not have a mind of its own, does not have an opinion. Okay. Your subconscious mind does not have an opinion at all. So it's not over here sitting there saying, I don't like, you're like, oh yeah, I love him. And your subconscious mind is like, though, do you really? I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be back treating you good. Like, I don't really think that's the case. Now, conscious mind, on the other hand, is the thinker in you. Okay. So it's not about like what you know, what you don't know. This is where the make-up stories fucking come into play. Okay. Your subconscious mind isn't the one making up the stories. It's your conscious mind. Okay. Because your conscious mind is the protector in you. Okay. And so your subconscious mind, wide open to suggestion, takes everything in. It absorbs. Okay. And takes you at your word. Your conscious mind is the protector, which is why you only remember bits and pieces of your childhood, right? You won't sit there and know everything about you. You'll get bits and pieces of memories, right? You'll remember certain events, but you won't remember other events, okay? And so that's because that's the protector of you. Now, this is why we make up stories, okay? We make up stories to try and protect, because your conscious mind is trying to protect you, is trying to protect your feelings, if you will, right? So you end up sabotaging yourself by making up these fucking stories in your mind and inner conversations in your mind because you're trying to protect your feelings, but you're actually not, okay? because you don't feel good thinking about the negative shit, but at the same time, you're like, but at the same time, in your mind, you're still being like, yeah, well, if he doesn't come to see me today because he's busy with work, like, I understand. No. Because when he doesn't come, you still don't feel good about it, but at least you're like, well, see, I was already prepared, if you will. Like, well, if he doesn't contact me, no. Okay, so it's not that it's you are going against it. You're wavering in wanting him to treat you one way, but expecting the opposite. So you're expecting him to come back treating you not well, based on history, based on old story. So you now need to start taking what you want and looking at it as an expectation. Like, oh no, I don't fucking think so. The fuck? I think not. Absolutely not. Demi, I do the photo method about 2 to 3 times a day is what I do for clients that I manifest for, but I have a little chatty chat with them. Okay. That's why we're having a little fun with Andy here, because Andy is manifesting someone she's never even met. And she's already getting movement. Because she would ask certain things too. And I said, well, I literally think I almost called this out where we were on the call. And I said, somehow you're going to leave a comment, or like, let's say you comment on his story or his post. Somehow your comment is going to stand out to him. Well, so she had fun with it at first. I said, I want you to prove it to yourself that it doesn't matter if you don't know them. They don't have free will in your reality. I said, you control what they do. I said, so why don't you go ahead and tell them, say that he's going to wear a certain color shirt. She goes, pink. I don't think I've ever seen him in a pink shirt. Great. What was he wearing the next day? A pink sweatshirt in his post. Okay. She's never seen him in pink before. All of a sudden she saw him in pink. Then all of a sudden she left a comment on a post that he made. He replied to her comment. So it's fun. It's a fun time. Oh, well, there you go, Bevy. Take that as a positive sign, bitch. I already did it with tarot readers. Interpret my dreams. Yeah, Lena, let's stay away from this. There's actually one. Sometimes I laugh when you guys will like book a follow-up coaching call and you'll be like, do you remember me or something? And I'm like, yes. Facial wise, unless we talk often, facial wise, yes, I remember you, but give me a brief backstory. And they'll be like, I'm the ChatGPT girl. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Enough said. She actually had her, she actually told her boyfriend what ChatGPT said about him. Do you care to guess how that went? They were in no contact. Lickety split. Luckily for her, though, that's changed now. And I said, please, for the love of God, don't tell him anymore about ChatGPT journey. She goes, I'm not doing that anymore. I was like, he probably thought you were a nutcase, because he was like, I'm sorry, what? You're telling me all about my qualities as a human? Because, wait, I'm sorry, did you say ChatGPT told you that? Oh man. So if my SP brings up gutter trash, I'm calling you today saying I was busy and I was dealing with a personal matter yesterday. Oh, well, yes, a personal matter yesterday. And the later afternoon. What the fuck is this? Okay, sorry. So if my SP brings up gutter trash as his gutter trash, then for me, is to not let it get to me. Yes, of course, don't let it get to you, because in your mind, be like, what girlfriend? You mean me? Yeah, I'm your girlfriend, bitch. I'm your girlfriend. Yeah, don't let it get to you, because he's calling her that at the current second, but it will change in a hot second. It will change. And he'll either stop talking about her, or he will confirm what you're affirming for, Jackie. So stay the course and don't let it bother you. Brittany, you better fucking knock the shit off. You better knock the shit. You're driving me nuts, bitch. You are driving me nuts. Is it normal to not feel anything after deciding? If it's normal to you, Mimi, I mean, I would look at it like not feeling something, not feeling anything is better than feeling all shitty, right? It's definitely better than feeling negatively. So I would definitely not assign negative meaning to that and just be like, yeah, that's because I'm not even worried about it, because it's already done. It's already done. What's there to worry about? It's already done. Okay. But I'm not going to say it's normal, because it could be because I don't want other people to be like, well, I don't feel normal after just deciding, or I don't feel anything. So, or I feel some other kind of way, so that means I haven't decided. That's not true. Everyone's feelings are different. If you've decided, some people could be neutral to it. Other people could be very excited about it. It definitely wouldn't be a negative feeling, okay? But you would feel like excited about it, like, yeah, shit, hell yeah. Or it could be neutral. But definitely if it's negative, you haven't decided. I like to get my period, and he catches and I'd get, oh, and I said you'd like to get your period. Well, oftentimes we feel that way. We feel that way, girl, about what happens. And you also understand that all of your assumptions manifest, okay? Okay, so what is the one assumption most women have about the period? When it comes to your hormones? Well, you might want to change that, because you get your period every damn month. Well, unless you're on birth control. Which, I will tell you, I am not a fan of that shit that goes in your arm. That fucking shit burned every day. I was like, take it out. Take it out. Would that be a sign that she was cranky yesterday because Gutter Trash and her had a date Thursday? Yeah, Crazy Court. Yes. That's a sign, bitch. That's right. That's right, Lisa. He is miserable every single day without me. I say that one. Yeah, he's absolutely miserable without me. Any second we're not together, he's completely miserable. I'm the best part of his day. He's only happy when we're together. How can I finally get rid of Gutter Trash? I already told you. You need to affirm against Gutter Trash. You need to claim an identity when it comes to Gutter Trash too. Okay? So you need to create an assumption when it comes to Gutter Trash that benefits you. Okay? And oftentimes it's not hard to do. A lot of people already have assumptions of Gutter Trash because they've proven it, right? They've seen it. And so they're like, no, or they've been told that by numerous people. So they'd be like, no, I actually know she's crazy. Like everyone says she's fucking crazy. Or I know she's not a good person. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. And there is no limit to what you can assume about gutter trash. I'm just letting you know. Lindsay, what's a good affirmation for SP to not be shy around me? What's the opposite of shy? And so go into description about like not to be shy, a good affirmation about SP to not be shy around you. It would be like, he is super outgoing when we're together. Like when we're together, he feels like he can completely be himself. He's always himself whenever we're together, right? Because if he's not a shy person, then he'll be himself when you're together. Okay. As well as, I'm trying to think of what I told my daughter when they told me she was shy. A fallacy is coming on. I'm sorry. Okay. So not shy. Actually, I like that one. He's totally himself whenever we're together. He's very outgoing and he communicates everything with me. Like he can't stop talking. Whenever we're together, he's super outgoing and fun. He's fun he has fun whenever we're together. He's himself. Okay. Especially if he's not a shy person. Now, if he's a shy person, then, hey, I'm going through my SP description today and not changing it. I'm just going to make sure there's nothing missing from it. Yeah, yeah. This is where we have to deny. So you can't think he hates you. He has to hate you. You understand that. He has to hate you if you think he hates you. So instead be like, fuck that. He is absolutely in love with me. In fact, I'm his favorite person. I am his favorite person. Okay. He thinks I am perfect. I do believe it starts with self-concept for real and believing in yourself. You have to believe in yourself, Shanzi. Yeah. You have to believe in yourself and you have to have a level of self-concept. You don't have to have stellar self-concept when it comes to manifesting your SP. But you do need to have a level of self-concept, seeing yourself as wanted, as desired, as the priority, as chosen, as a bad bitch. They wouldn't dare ever leave me. Because I'm a once in a lifetime bitch. Yeah. I'm a once in a lifetime bitch. Period. And knowing what you bring to the table. Because this is why people chase you. They don't like to be chased. Okay. And when you put them on the pedestal and you come from need and desperation, then you're chasing them versus, I don't think so. I don't need to chase you. I know who I am. Because when you know who you are, guess what they know? Who you are too. Okay? Because it pushes out. It pushes out, which is why they chase you, because they're like, yeah, she's a bad bitch. Of course I am. Duh. Yeah, I told you guys need to have the whole ass attitude. Like, you're lucky I even want your ass. You understand that. I have options. Like, literally, I have options. I'm a once in a lifetime bitch. I'm a perfect girlfriend. So if you think that I don't have choices, oh, I do. So you should be lucky I even want your ass. Come claim your prize, because I'm the prize. Yeah, come claim your prize, bitch. I just say, you guys go claim your prize. He needs to come claim his prize, and that's you. Oh, can I explain the law of detachment? Oh, the law of detachment. Yeah, Louisa. So in the premise is this. They're saying when you detach from something, it manifests, right? So people, this is where law of attraction fucks you up, because they'll be like, let it go. Just let it go. Just decide and just let it go. No, what you need to do is let go of the resistance. You never let go of what you want. You need to drop the resistance, but to detach, you need to detach from old story. And this is where the law of detachment gets screwed up. So here's my definition of law of detachment is you need to detach from old story and old version of your SP, and that is it. Why would you detach from the outcome? That's fucking stupid. That's stupid. Okay. You can detach from the resistance, but I'm never going to detach from the outcome. That's dumb. That's dumb. I'm never going to detach from my SP either. That's dumb too. Okay. So instead, I'm just going to detach from old story and old version by saying, nope, that's not who he is. This is who he is for me. Right. And persist in new version, but detach from the old shit, because that's what holds people back, is that they're attached to the old story. They're attached to the old version of SP. And instead, they need to do the opposite and detach from that shit, because that shit's holding them back. That's fucking them up. That's negative. So detach from that only. Only detach from what's negative, that's serving you a negative purpose. But don't detach from anything that you want or anything that benefits you. You should only detach from the things you don't want, like old shit. Because this is why they say history repeats itself. You understand this is where all these sayings come from. History repeats itself. Where's that saying come from? Because it does. Because all you do is keep doing the same shit you've been doing before. Right? So history repeats itself because you're doing the same patterns. You're running your relationship the same exact way over and over and over again. Therefore, history repeats itself because your thoughts are not changing. You're not evolving as a person, right? And that's what makes what we do here, what I teach you here, very different than other law of assumption coaches, especially when it comes to SPs, mainly SPs, is it's not the same. It is not the same as everything else, because here, what we do here is teach you that this is not about your SP. This is about you. This is about you evolving as a person, as you being the best version of yourself in your relationship. So therefore, you have an amazing relationship, because you need to be the best person for you and run things differently. Because even if it wasn't with this SP, if it was with somebody whole ass new, you don't want the same shit to keep repeating over and over and over again. So you have to do things differently, because who the hell is going to go through all that hassle of manifesting their SP back just to have them leave again? No. We have to run things differently. And you have to do that by being very much aware of the patterns. What are your conversations, and were they the same inner conversations that you had the last goddamn time when they did something that they did before? What's your thought process now? If it goes that way, you have to change it. And so it's about evolving as who you are, because then people change. They change to match, right? Because you've evolved. You are choosing the version of your SP that, makes you fucking happy and that you love, instead of settling for whatever version decides to rear its head every day, right? Instead of reacting in your thoughts and verbally and spiraling and and verbalizing shit, you're learning to shut the fuck up and change it in your mind. Okay. So therefore it doesn't push back. It pulls forward, right? We're learning how to do all that shit here, because but nobody else talks about that shit. They're just like, get your SP back. And so great. That's cool. So you get your SP back as the same douchebag that he was before, right? At the end of your relationship. And then to put in all that work, he comes back as the same version, the one that you don't want, flawed at all. And then all of a sudden, you're running your relationship the same way you did before, and then you're all upset because it ended the same way. Well, that's because they don't tell you how to keep them, because they don't know. Because they haven't manifested their SP back. They're manifesting new SPs. Well, that's fucking stupid. That's stupid. It's not stupid to manifest a new SP, but it's not the same concept as manifesting somebody back, because there's history with this person now. When you're manifesting somebody new, there's no history. Okay, there's no history. So you don't have to sit there and really try to push through and select perfect version, because that's what you get every time in a relationship. That's what you get initially. But they don't teach you how to keep your relationship, do they? No. Danielle, maybe maybe we got to tweak the assumption of gutter trash, and like, she's not obsessed with you. In fact, she's gone away. She doesn't even know who you are. She's completely gone away. She went to jail. She went to jail for stalking. Put her in there. Put her in there. Ash app, it's like a robot therapist. Oh God, stay away from those, crazy court. Nobody needs therapy. No one needs therapy at all. Thanks, MKT girlfriend. Yeah, no one needs therapy. I've used the pick a card readings only to validate my assumptions. Yeah, Nina, me too. Me too. I do that all the time. I used to do it all the time. I'd listen to pick a card readings, and then I keep picking the card until I fucking got the reading that I wanted. And then I'd be like, yes, that's it. That's it. There's also tarot card readers that you can follow on YouTube that like to make follow me here. Okay. Because a lot of us want to validate our assumptions, right? Or you want to hear what you want to hear. So you can follow certain tarot card readers that do like 30-minute, they do shorts predominantly. I wouldn't watch the full length ones unless it's a pick a card, and then pick all the fucking cards until you get the one that you want. But when they do shorts, they'll do certain things like, he will confess these things to you. And then they'll pull the cards, and they'll have like sayings on the cards. So it'll be like, I can't live without you. Then they'll pull another card. It'll be like, all I do is think about how much I love you, right? Those ones, I don't have any problem with. I don't have any qualms with those. Why? Because that helps you, right? That benefits you. Because you're like, yeah, that's right. I was just looking at one today. It popped up on my YouTube notifications. So I was like, I was watching it. I was like, yeah, those ones are good to watch because they're telling you what you want to fucking hear. Okay. And so I would honestly I only listen to what I want to hear. Somebody tells me if anything says I don't want to hear, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking. You're wrong. You are wrong. Yeah, I know you ain't talking to me. Hey, Morena. Well, that's good, Brittany, because I feel like you need that shit right now. I'm in a terrible situation, Morena. He wants me out of the house and told me there's nothing I can do to change his mind. Our relationship is over. Well, Morena, game on, bitch. That's what you should look at him. Don't verbalize it. But when he says something like that, that's the best one, is you look at him and go, okay. And in here, you're like, game on, bitch. Game on. Because watch me change your mind real fast. Watch me change your mind real fast. Because that's oftentimes, that's what they'll say. And the only reason they're saying that is because they've tried telling you how they feel, right? And then what happens? They try telling you how they feel, and then you're over here responding verbally to what they're saying, trying to probably beg and plead, probably to like beg and plead, things like that is what you're doing. Oh, okay, Esprit, let me take a look at it. So you're trying to plead your case, you're trying to beg for him to change his mind, you're trying to do all that shit, right? And then so then what does he say? You can't change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. There's nothing you And then, so what you say is, there's this thing called thought transmission, honey. Mind control, whatever the fuck you want to call it. There's this thing called thought transmission. So did you just challenge me? In here. Don't do here. And then you're like, okay, cool. Well, let me recreate your ass. And I'm going to recreate you right now. And I'm going to create you. I'm going to go back to the version of my SP that would have never fucking told me that shit. That would have never told me that shit, ever. And then I'm going to describe him only that way. I'm only going to see you as that way. You're welcome for selecting nice version of you and not dickhead. You're welcome for that shit too. And because it benefits him. And I ain't going to goddamn place. You're silly. Play again. Play with me again. Because I'm actually going to turn it up a notch now. Because you will see it. But what you can't do is listen to his ass. Okay? If you accept what he's saying, then you will have to leave the house. He won't change his mind. Okay? Because he said, my mind's made up. You can't change my mind. Okay, cool. Watch me. That's the attitude you should have. Watch me. Because there's thought transmission. So, and that's a thing. This is not like a hypothetical. So because of that, I wouldn't listen to what he's saying. I wouldn't listen to what he's saying at all. And to be quite frank, your situation is a terrible situation, of course, but it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon at all. Okay. Usually that's how relationships end, right? Is in them saying they've made up their mind until you unmake up their mind. So don't listen to him. Instead, I want you to go back in your relationship when he was great, when he was perfect. And I want you to write it all down. Go in whole story mode. Describe everything about him as that person for you back then. That is not who he is today. He's not the person that wants you out of the fucking house. He's not the person that doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. He's none of that shit. He's the person that is obsessed with you, is in love with you, worships the ground that you walk on, wants nothing more than to be with you. He'll do anything to make you happy, right? Or whatever that was for you back then, that is who he is today. Because I had a client, when I was first starting out with SPs specifically, I had a client that was told the same damn thing. She was told the same thing. There is never going to be you and I anymore. Get over it. In fact, she's not even on my fucking lives anymore because she doesn't have to be. So she was told that shit. And in 2 weeks, they were back in a relationship and fully living together. In 2 weeks. Back. And they were in no contact. And so now they're living together. They got their own place. She's the beneficiary of his life insurance policy. And all of this shit within 2 weeks. From no contact, from him telling her the exact same shit. And you know what her response to me was on our second coaching call? It's so weird. They're like robots. Yeah, they are. And that's the fun part. All we have to do is give them the right program. So that's all you have to do, right? Because that was her thing. She like wilded out. She was like, oh shit. Because then she got a lot of progress, right? They were talking again, they were hanging out, and they were talking about moving in together. This is why she scheduled the second call with me. Because then, all of a sudden, it slid back. They were in no contact, but he went from talking about living together to, I think we're moving too fast. I just don't know. I'm not sure of what I want. Like, I don't know if this is what I want. And she was like, second call. And so then we jumped on a second call. I said, no. Here's what you need to do. And then boom, within a couple days, she's like, we're moving in together. Of course you are. Of course you are. So that's how you have to look at it, my friend. Okay? Describe him differently. And remind yourself that he's a robot. So the only reason he's saying this to me, because his job is only to confirm. So the only reason he's saying this to me is because I don't know if he wants to be in a relationship with me. He's acting this way. He's told me he wants me to leave. So up until then, all you've done is question your relationship and assume he doesn't want to be with you because he told you he wants you out of the house. Okay, but leading up to him saying he wanted you out of the house, you were questioning him. You were questioning your relationship. You were questioning his thoughts about you, his feelings about you. And therefore, he pushed that out. Then he told you to leave the house, and now you're over here like, now you're even more in your thoughts about it. even more in your thoughts about it. And now he's saying, no, you're not going to change my mind. The relationship is over. No. Silly rabbit tricks are for kids. I'll decide when the relationship is over. Thank you very much. And I've decided, not today, bitch. Not today. But so cute that you thought you were in control. I don't fucking think so. Okay, because that's literally how it works. Literally how it works. Jackie, Danielle's situation is very different. Because her situation is not your typical gutter trash scenario. It's very different. I mean, I'm convinced she's got very many screws loose in her brain. Okay, Jonah, I found out SP has been lying to me for 3 years about what's really going on with gutter trash. Was there a second part of this? Okay, so, Jonah, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you found out. First of all, you didn't just find out. Okay? But you just got confirmation. Okay? Let me tell you that, because their job is only to confirm. So you just got confirmation that your SP's been lying to you for 3 years about what's really going on with gutter trash. The reason you just got confirmation of this is because you, at some point, probably multiple times, questioned if he was telling you the truth. You probably very often, or every time he said something, or every time he went somewhere, or every time he did something, you at some point questioned if he was being honest with you. Was he telling you the truth? And you got confirmation that no, he was not, that he was lying to you. Because maybe you were snooping around, saw something that you thought was a little suspicious. But then again, remember, there's only one reason you're snooping, right? You're snooping because you have a feeling that he's lying to you, that he's not being honest with you. And so you're snooping and you found something that obviously confirmed that. And then now you got even more in your head about it. Like, why would he lie about that? It could be something so stupid. Why would he lie about that? Like, now you're questioning whenever he tells you anything, things like that. And now you got confirmation that he's been lying to you the whole time. But he was only lying to you the whole time because you assumed he was lying to you. Okay, at some point, if you question if they're telling you the truth, you're practically encouraging them to lie to you. You're encouraging them to lie to you. Okay, on top of that, remember, they have their own assumptions about you too. So however you choose to react however you reacted to things during your first go around in your relationship or now, they have their own assumptions of you too. So oftentimes they're not going to tell you something, or they're going to tell a little white lie because they know how you're going to react. They already know how you're going to react. And so because of that, they find it's easier just to not tell you or to tell a little white lie. That's why. Yeah, Elena, well, like I told you, sister, that's right, Lisa with a butterfly. You got options, bitch. But that's why, you guys won't know. Well, you won't know because I'm going to, you'll know if I got you'll know when I get confirmation, because I'll tell you, like, oh shit, some of you guys better buckle up. That'll be the keyword phrase, if I remember. But then I'm going to get to work. Now I'm going to shoot some people at random because I want to make sure that, it's not any different, right? So I want to make sure that it works for me manifesting for someone else. I don't get the difference between flipping your thoughts and affirming against them, because you should flip. Yeah, so oh, look at that, organically zoned skincare. That's right, girl, that's right. And in case you need new tires, you got a hookup. Haley, so the difference between flipping your thoughts and affirming against them is this. So it's like, let's say you have a momentary thought like, are they seeing someone else, right? Are they seeing someone else? You can't just be like, she's obsessed with me. I'm all she ever thinks about. She's always calling and texting me. She's constantly spending time with me. She'll do anything to be with me right now. You have to flip that thought specifically. Okay, so it's like if you're thinking like, is she talking to somebody else? You'd be like, absolutely not. She's loyal, faithful, and committed to me and only me. Like, I'm the only one she wants to be with. Okay, so that's not necessarily something you're affirming for. That's not something that you're necessarily affirming for. However, you're flipping that momentary thought into the opposite of that specific thought. Does that make sense? Is it all possible with every person? A good friend, for example. Yes. Yes, LR. Friends are easy. Easy. Because there's not really a lot of resistance to a friend. On top of that, you probably well, thank you. You probably shouldn't have a bad description of your friend, right? Because who the fuck has friends that they don't like? You know what I mean? And so you wouldn't have a bad description of your friend. So it works very well. You can use the photo method too on friends, on children, on bosses, coworkers, any fucking body. Doesn't matter. It does not matter. You can use it on anybody. Now, children, friends, coworkers, all of those things, they conform quickly to whatever you say about the photo, whatever you say in the photo method, because you don't have any resistance to them. You really don't care necessarily one way or another. That's resistance, as you really don't care one way or another. Okay, but again, don't accept things in your reality you don't fucking like. When only you have the power to change it. So the fuck you want me to move out for? Are you insane? I don't think so. I ain't going to goddamn place. I'm going to fix it in my mind. I'm not going to accept shit. I don't even know. I didn't even hear. I'm sorry. I didn't even hear what you said. See, I'm deaf sometimes. Because if you say something I don't want to hear, I didn't hear you at all. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry. What was that? I have a hearing problem, but I only have a hearing problem with the negative shit. And not accept it. Don't accept it. You don't have to. I don't care what they say. And I don't care if they tell you you need to fucking accept it too. They could literally be like, look, this is how it is. Like, sorry, you need to accept it. I don't need to accept shit. Thank you very much. But you'll accept what I fucking say in my mind though. Thank you. Yeah, therapy fucks you up. Therapy fucks you up. I actually had a coaching call with someone. And she had a therapy session the next day, and she was like, canceled. She's like, I'm canceling my therapy session. I was like, well, you need to, because if you're working on manifesting your SP back, right? And that's what you're doing. But yet you're going to therapy and you're talking about your relationship with your SP. They don't understand what you're doing. Okay. So because they're spiritually asleep. So because of that, you're going to talk to your therapist. You're going to sound like, one, a lunatic. And two, she's going to be like, I don't think you should do that because he's just not good, because there's a reason you're going to therapy about him in the first place. And so it's not like you're there like, everything is great. I think he's amazing. That's why I booked this therapy session with you. No. Right? So you've done nothing but whine, bitch, and moan and groan about this person. to your therapist. So when you are like, hey, by the way, I'm actually good. I'm going to manifest my SP back, actually. They're like, he's not a good person. I think you just need to move on. Let him go. No. Plus, then they want you to keep talking about your fucking relationship problems over and over and over again. You're like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Actually, I'm moving forward. And then they're like, whatever you tell them in this frame of mind, your therapist is going to be like, huh? You can't just move on. You need to address it. No, the fuck I don't. Sabrina, how do you know how to manifest someone to unblock you? Oh, that's easy, bitch. Okay. First of all, couple things. You don't need to acknowledge the block. Okay. Because if you acknowledge the block, they have to keep you blocked. Okay. But instead, or you can say like, whoever they are, just unblocked me. Yeah, whoever they are just unblocked me so they can message me. They totally just unblocked me right now. That would be what I would tell you if you are insisting on being unblocked. But if it's with an SP, you have to ask yourself this: do I want to be unblocked, or do I want this motherfucker to contact me? What's the pleasure? Because they can unblock you right now and never fucking talk to you. Or I want them to contact me. I don't give a shit, because guess what? If you started saying that they're always calling and texting, or they're always contacting you, well, then unblocking tends to be a part of that equation most of the time. Most of the time, unblocking is the natural thing to do for them to contact you. Or once you're in contact, unblocking is naturally the thing to do. But it's like well, Bakar, I am the Queen of England, actually. I'm the Queen of the United States. Lady Lynn, me and SP had a lovely day yesterday, and at the end said, I don't want a relationship. Jonah, your fucking text makes zero sense to me. Literally. Well, the part of it that I saw, because I don't know how you would have seen that unless you were creeping. But again, social media is not real. You guys need to understand, social media is not real. It is not real. Sorry, it's not. Okay? Nobody puts their shit online. And nobody does that. No, unless they're fucking 16 and want to change their relationship status to it's complicated, but nobody puts their shit online. They don't. They do nothing but put smoke, like social media is nothing but smoke screens and mirrors. Smoke and, well, you know what I'm fucking talking about. Social media is not real. All anybody puts online is how awesome their life is. Okay. And, or what they want the public to believe about their life. It's not what actually is going on. Okay. It's not what actually was going on. Okay. So you have to remember that part when it comes to social media. Second of all, if you see this person, you also have to remind yourself that you have no idea what's going on behind closed doors. I don't need to question shit. I have no idea what's going on behind closed doors. So let me tell you what's going on behind closed doors. Not what you see in public. Not what you see in public. Right? I mean, most people will put on a happy face when they're in public. And then when they get home, be like, fuck you, don't talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Literally. It's called saving face. Okay? We have to put on a show. That's where these sayings come from. Because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So your job is not to question a goddamn thing. Do not question anything at all. Okay? Hold the questions because we're going to do the energy cord cutting and photo method in a hot sec. If you guys... No, Sabrina, I'm not. Stop it. Stop it. Yes. Oh. Wants to fly away. You guys have to understand a couple things, okay? You need to understand a few things we'll get into in a second. But listen. Y'all need to get out of your own fucking way, okay? And everything is feedback. I keep telling you guys, everything is feedback. So when they tell you all the things that you don't want to hear, I promise you, if you were to actually go back in your mind and you're being completely 1000% honest with yourself and not lying to yourself, whatever they say out of their mouth, I can guarantee you thought about. Maybe not obsessively, but you may have thought about it one time. You may have an insecurity about that. You had an inner conversation you shoved aside about that shit. You, any of that stuff, that's why they're reflecting that. You didn't necessarily have to obsessively think about it, but it still pushes out. I think you guys forget this shit, is that you listen to what they say and you're just like, you're like the victim all of a sudden. Like they're mean. They said this, they said that, they're mean. They're not saying, most of the times, they're not saying things that are untrue. Maybe you think it's untrue, but you thought about it. You said it. You assigned some kind of meaning to it, and now they said it. And oftentimes it comes at the breakup, where they'll say something. They'll say why they broke up. You should all take a look. Every one of you should take a look at what was said during the breakup. What did they say? Because that's very important feedback to where you went wrong on what they said. Okay? Take a look at what they fucking told you during the breakup. Because almost everything they fucking told you, you thought about. At one point, you thought about everything they said. Even though it stings. Okay? Or you questioned it. Okay, you may not have thought about it because nobody's sitting there thinking like, he doesn't love me. I don't think he doesn't love me, right? You may not necessarily be saying he doesn't love me, but you questioned if he did love you. Then he confirmed the opposite, right? So things like that. All right. Now, let's do the energy cord cutting. And I get a lot of new people here that I don't think some of you guys quite understand what caused your breakup, so we'll get into that, okay? Okay, Willis, hold the fuck on. Hold the hell on. Yes, you can, baby. It works on anybody, Brittany. It's not about it's not negative emotions. It's just clearing the energy between you and SP, right? So it's like, I don't have any negative emotions when it comes to my child, but I still cut that cord with her. I don't have negative emotions when it comes to my boyfriend, but I still cut that cord with him. Okay. So that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with that. We'll discuss a couple of these things. Natalie, I'll discuss your shit in a minute. Okay? Hold on. All right. So let's cut the energy cord right now. Okay? The energy cords right now we need to cut. It's going to keep and maintain clear energy between you and SP. Okay. So it's just making sure that energy is just nice and clean, nice and fresh. Right? Because Look at it this way. Energy between you and everybody in your life is like just walking around with an old ass t-shirt on that you've never fucking washed. Okay. And so same with SPs, ex-boyfriends. Okay. Co-workers, bosses, start with the negative people in your life. Okay. Or that you have history with. So today we do SPs on this one. But you don't have to, you could do it on anybody you want. But it's like, because for you and your SP, it's like walking around. The longer you guys know each other, it's like walking around with a shirt that you never wash. Eventually the shit smells, right? So instead, cutting the energy cord is like washing the shirt. Keeps it clean, keeps it fresh. Okay, therefore it keeps it nice and good all the time, Okay, so that's what we do here. I did this with my with my ex, that I was not trying to manifest back. And I hadn't talked to him in over 8 years. He called me within 72 hours and was like, hey, how you doing? Was just thinking about you. I was like, ooh. So it works very fast. I had somebody else, she messaged me. She did it, and within 20 minutes, got unblocked and got a text from her SP. Okay. All right, so that's what we're doing right now. So go ahead and get somewhere comfy. It only takes a couple freaking minutes, okay? And I want you don't have to lay down. You could literally sit down and just close your eyes. And I want you to take 3 deep breaths in and out. Now I want you to imagine that you're in a dark theater. You're alone. You're sitting in the middle of this theater. And in front of you, there's a giant stage. And on this, what the fuck you said, Jonah? And on this stage, there's a single stage light that goes from the ceiling down to the center of the stage. And as you start to stare into the stage light, right? Stare into the light right now. As you start to focus your attention on that stage light, you start to notice and get a feeling that you're not alone. In fact, you can notice that off in the distance, in the back of the stage, there's a dark, shadowy figure. And as you start to shift your focus from the stage light to the shadowy figure in the back of the stage, you start to notice that that shadowy figure is your SP. Now, I want you to call your SP to the center of the stage and into the light. Say their name. Go ahead and do that now. And as they start to walk into the light, you start to notice their facial features, their physical features, and you also notice a gold cord that runs from the middle of their third eye directly into your third eye. Now I want you to look at your SP, and I want you to ask your SP these 2 questions, and you're going to hear your SP respond. If you can hear their voice, great. If you cannot hear their voice, that's okay too. Okay, so I want you to ask your SP right now, do you support me? Hear them tell you yes. Now ask them, do you love me? Also hear them tell you, yes. Now I want you to look at your SP in their eyes, and I want you to say these 4 phrases. This time, they're not going to respond, and that's okay. I want you to look at your SP right now, and I want you to tell your SP, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Now I want you to reach up with your hand as if it's a pair of scissors, and I want you to cut the gold cord that runs directly from your third eye. And as that cord begins to fall to the floor, I want you to reach up with your other hand. I want you to grab the roots of that gold cord and pull them out of your third eye and just toss them aside. Now, as the gold cord continues to fall to the floor, you notice that your SP starts to float away like a big balloon. And your SP gets farther and farther and smaller and smaller and farther and farther and smaller and smaller and farther and farther until they just disappear. Now go ahead and take one more deep breath in and out and open your eyes. All right, so now we have cleared the energy. What's up? I don't give a damn. Okay. Nope, I don't agree at all, Jackie. I ain't keeping it no cool and natural with shit when it comes to my SP. Nope. I'm going all in. That situation there, that ain't my problem. That ain't my problem. I know it'll work itself out. Why? Because I decide. So I ain't calming shit down. Nope. And I will be not apologizing for it. Okay. So now get your photos out of your SP. We're going to do the photo method. We do these every single day here on TikTok. Now, if you want to revert back to these techniques, the photo method that we're about to do is pinned to the top of my profile. It's got like over 40,000 views. That's the one. The second one, that the cord cutting that we did, there's a trilogy of videos where I'm wearing a red shirt. It's the first of the 3. Okay, so you can go ahead and save those videos and then revert back to them on how to do it. And then I tell you, again, I made a second video on the photo method on how to use it to your advantage when it comes to other things other than just your SP, or on how you can extend on it. If you scroll down my profile, I think that one has like 27,000 views. I don't know. Some shit like that. All right. Okay. So I want you to go down memory lane for just a second. Okay, because I need you guys to start thinking differently. You need to start expecting something different from your SP than what you've been currently experiencing or expecting. Because either way, you're expecting something. So you're either expecting your SP to contact you or you're expecting them not to ghost you. All right. You're either expecting them to come and see you or you're expecting them not to want to be with you, right? One of the two, you're expecting something all the time. So I want you to start expecting now what you actually want from your SP to contact you. But you do that by dropping the old shit. Going back to the version of your SP that called you all the time, that you never questioned. You never wondered if you would hear from them that day. You just knew you would. That's the SP we're going back to right now. So forget who your SP is right now. None of that shit matters. They're no longer that version of your SP. I want you to go back in time and I want you to recall a time in your relationship when everything was perfect. Okay, everything was perfect. Well, let's do this. And I want you to, right now, go back to that time and remember who your SP was for you. Who was he for you? How did they make you feel? How did they treat you? Who were they as a person for you? Remember that version of your SP right now. The one that contacted you all the time, that you never questioned if you would hear from them that day, you knew you would. Who was constantly spending time with you, who would do anything to make you happy, who wanted to be with you, who was in love with you. Remember that version of your SP right now. Because that version of your SP is the only version of your SP that exists today. There is no other option. There is no other version of your SP other than your perfect person. They're here with you right now. You're going to hold on to this version of your SP and bring them into your current reality. This is who they are for you right now. They're literally standing, holding their phone right now, wanting to text you, wanting to contact you, wanting to see you, wanting to be with you. It's time for you right now to give them the permission to do so. The only way you can give someone permission to do what you want them to do is by seeing that version of your SP, by having that same expectation you had back then today, where you just knew. Because that's who they were for you. You didn't question it. You didn't question it, therefore they did. over and over and over again, because that's who they were for you. Well, that's now who they are again for you right now. Okay? Now, if you are new here, I need you to put on your crown. If you are not new here, I need you to straighten that shit right now. Because here we get what we want and we get it when we want it. We do not settle for shit. Okay? We are the ones that are in control. This is your reality. When kings and queens give a command, do they check, question, wonder, doubt if their command will be fulfilled? No. When queens and kings give commands, they know, they expect. There's nothing to check. There's nothing to question. There's nothing to doubt. Because they're the queen. They're the king. And what they say goes. That is who you are. You are the queen or the king of your reality. Therefore, what you say in your reality also goes. It's time for you to own that, to step into that power. So pull out the pictures of your SP. Now, if you are in no contact or you are in minimal contact, it is not consistent contact. Then you're going to look at your SP's photo and you're going to tell them that they're going to contact you right now. You're going to tell them, and if you're alone, say it out loud. If you're say it with a little bit of backbone. If you're not alone, say it in your mind. Don't look like a weirdo. Okay. And you're going to tell them, you could say contact, text, call, doesn't matter. However they would naturally reach out to you is how they're going to do it. So you're going to look at them and you're going to tell them, you're texting me right now. You are texting me right now. You're texting me right now. You're texting me right now. Okay? Little bit of authority. Now, if you are in consistent contact with your SP, you have options. You can sit there and tell them that they're contacting you right now, or you can say, you're coming to see me today. 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 Now, if you are in any of the ships, if you're in a friendship, situationship, relationship, all the ships, then you can do whatever you want. You can tell them to contact you. You can tell them they're coming to see you today. You can tell them that they're bringing you dinner tonight. They're buying you dinner tonight. They're bringing you flowers today. They're going to give you a massage tonight. They're giving you sexy time tonight. Whatever you want them to do. Okay? The goal is to start expecting the behavior from your SP that you deserve and that they once did for you. Because that is the only version of your SP that exists right now, is your perfect person. So now you're going to give them permission by giving the command and telling them what to do. So I'm going to pause this live while I go to the ladies' room. You right now, get busy. Tell them what to do and expect them to contact you right now. All right, and we're back. Now you can expect them to contact you right now. In fact, I intend and I know that several of you are going to get contact right now, today. All right. So, now, got to answer you, Casey. Can you tell them to lose contact with gutter trash? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can literally tell them whatever you want. Exactly what Chanel said. You can tell them whatever you want. Okay? You can, that's right. That's right. You can tell, okay. You can tell them to do whatever you want. So you can tell them that we had somebody do that, actually. You can tell them that that they don't talk to any other females but you. They don't talk to any women but you, right? You can say your affirmations to them, except you're not going to say, he is so obsessed with me. You're going to say, you're obsessed with me, right? You can tell them anything. You can say the ho'oponopono. You can look at them in their picture and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. Thank you. I love you, right? You can tell them that too. You can have a conversation with your SP. Okay. You can talk to them as if you're having a whole conversation with them. Okay. Because they hear your thoughts. It's not like your voice is going to pop into their head. That's not how that works. Instead, it's their thoughts. They all of a sudden start thinking about you. They all of a sudden start feeling like they want to talk to you all the time, right? All of these things, they start obsessing over you, all of that stuff, because you're talking to them. It's thought transmission. So your thoughts to them become their thoughts. Okay. Like I said, it's not like they're going to hear your voice. That would be creepy. Okay. Ratatouille. How do you manifest a job and money? Okay. Those are two totally different things, by the way. They could be intertwined, but they're not exactly the same. Okay. So you would say something like, so instead of saying you've been rejected, right? And because what's going to happen is this: you've been struggling to find a job for the past 8 months. And every time you're rejected, you're furthering the assumption within yourself, and your inner conversations start to amplify, where it's like, now when you're applying for jobs, you're just hoping to get a job, but you're so used to being rejected that you're like, God, I hope they hire me. Oh my God, I need a job. Versus saying, absolutely fucking not. Everyone hires me. Wherever I apply, I always get the job. I always get the job. For everything I apply for, I get whatever job I want. Doesn't even matter. Okay. You can start telling yourself that is like, I get every job I've applied for. Somebody did that. And I think she said she got 6 job offers. She did exactly what I said. So that's how you get a job. I just got the perfect job. Every job I apply for, I get. And then when you go into that interview, you have to have an attitude about you. I don't mean an attitude, okay? But when you go into that job, when you go into that interview, okay, you're obviously qualified on paper. So your qualifications are not why they're interviewing you, because they're not stupid. They can see what your answers were or what your resume says. Okay, so you obviously are already qualified to have the job. The reason why they interview you is because they want to see if you're a good fit for the office, if you're a good fit for them, if you're a good fit for company morale, things like that. So they know within the first, 30 seconds to a minute if they're going to hire you or not. So when you walk into that job, I don't care. You get a call for an interview. The second you pull up to that building, take one look at that building and tell yourself in your mind, or you can say it out loud because you're in your car, is you can be like, I'm the best employee they have. They're giving me that job. They're going to give me that job. Now, when you're in your interview, if your boss is talking to you, in your mind, just look at them dead ass in their eyes. And in your mind, of course, be like, you're giving me this job. You're giving me this job. I'm the best applicant you have. You're giving me this job. They will. They will. Now, if you want to get an instant rapport with your employer, then you match and mirror. Okay. So it's the premise is pace, lead. Okay. Pace, lead. You can do this with anybody, You have fun with this. Like, let's say you're at the bar. Okay. And they have to be within bird's eye view of you. Okay. Like, there could be a mirror. That could be totally fine. Okay. So like, let's say like, usually bars will have the mirror in the back. So let's say you see like somebody sitting off to the side. They don't have to be looking at you. That's not the point of this. But you can literally start to match and mirror them, and you do pace, lead. So like, let's say they did that, like they scratched their ear. You wait a couple seconds. Don't be fucking obvious. And then you scratch your ear. Then they do something else. Like, let's say they do this, wait a couple minutes, and then do this. Then you lead. So then you'll do something, like maybe you'll do that. If they do that too, you're in rapport. If they don't, then you go back and do pace, lead again. You mirror them, you match them, right? Pace, and then you lead again. And the second they do that, you're in rapport. Now, when you do this at a bar or at a restaurant, if anybody's in the business world, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins got kicked out of NLP training because he was going around doing the techniques. So he said, I don't want to go to training anymore. So he sent his people to go in, and he said, just come back and teach me what the fuck you learned. Because there's no crime in you doing the techniques without being certified, right? You just can't like charge people money for them, and you don't have credentials, right? It's like being a therapist. We're all therapists in our own way, but you don't go open up an office and fucking start being a therapist to people. Okay. But when you do this at a bar, or when you do this at a restaurant, you can do this to somebody sitting at a restaurant. Oftentimes what's going to happen is all of a sudden that person will come up to you and be like, you guys can do this to your boyfriends too. They'll oftentimes though, it'll be a complete stranger. They'll come up to you, and they oftentimes be like, do I know you? I just feel like I know you from somewhere. You've never seen this person a day in your life. But it's a rapport. They feel like they know you because all you did was pace, lead. This works on anybody. Okay. Like I said, you don't even have to know them. And if you did that, then all of a sudden they think they know you. They don't know you from Adam. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Right. So same with in a job interview. That's the key of being in rapport, is somehow you stand out from everybody else. They've had hundreds of interviews, but somehow you stand out because there's just something about you. And oftentimes they'll tell you that, like, I don't know what it was, but it's just something about you. Of course. I taught this to my mom. The second I learned it, she was going for an interview for Toshiba, and she was going for a high up position in HR. And those interviews are intense. It's not like a receptionist job. Okay. It's like a 7 interview process, right? And the further up you go, the higher up the officials go that interview you, right? Now you got a whole fucking panel sitting there. And, I taught this to her. She went to her interview and she started doing it. She got the job. She got the job out of thousands of applicants, right? And then I had done this for, God, I forgot what I did, but when the fuck did I do this? I was going somewhere with that whole ass shit. I don't remember, but it works. It works very well. Very well. It's kind of, there's another technique that you guys can watch. If I can find it, I'll show it to you. But there's another thing that you can, it's like how to be like a psychic, if you will. This is, spoiler alert, when it comes to psychics, psychics are energy readers. Okay. That's what they are. They're energy readers. And they are very good at reading your facial expressions, because most of us don't have a poker face. Okay. And then based upon what you're going to the psychic reading for, they already know. Obviously, you're not like, everything in my relationship is perfect and I'm going to go hire a fucking psychic. No, obviously, obviously everything is not perfect, which is why you're hiring a psychic. Okay. They know this, but they also know the technique that it's an NLP technique. It's a subconscious mind technique. where this is how they know. And this is where you're like, because sometimes they will say, if you get a good psychic, if you will, sometimes they'll say something, which is what lures you in. Because you're just like, that's exactly what I was thinking about. It's an NLP technique. I didn't think it would work, to be quite frank. When I was in my training, I was like, okay, let's play along. And they tell you to think about something. So I was thinking about something in my mind. It's thought reading, okay? And it's something that it's a very simple technique, but all of a sudden, you're recalling, all of a sudden she's literally saying, I'm getting this sense of like, I'm seeing like a butterfly. And I was like, because that's all it is. That's all it is it's a very simple technique. If I can find it, I'll show it to you guys. Cause it's very simple, where all of a sudden you're there. That's what psychics do. Okay. Which is why they lure you in, because they'll say something and you're like, oh damn, they're right. Well, now they have free will and they can say whatever the fuck they want and you believe them because they've already added some sense of validity based on what they said. Sorry, guys. If you're a psychic, I just called you out. My bad. But not really my bad. It's all a game, guys. It's all a game. Okay. Should I continue to keep it casual with my SP? No. Jackie, I answered that already. No, I would not keep it casual with my SP. Not at all. Not at all. Because it's not my problem. I'm not the one with gutter trash. Right? So no, I want it to escalate. And I'm petty. This is where you leverage the law and say, okay, what assumptions do I want my SP to have about me? That I'm 10 times fucking better than gutter trash? That I'm perfect? I'm everything she's fucking not? So what I do? Turn on the charm. Turn on the charm, turn it up a notch. Enjoy every second that we spend together. All right. I am Italian. All right. Let's see here. You're Italian. You're trying to understand. While I'm manifesting him, I feel that I miss him and I control. And you control what? Bevy. Oh, thanks, Ratatouille. I am rather smart. my whole information, my whole background is subconscious mind. Yes, Ratatouille, update me when you get the next job. When you get the next job, let me know. And then you can go and you can give me a tip. Oh, Ressa, that's okay, my friend. That's okay. I didn't see the last part of your message there. Hi, I'm Italian. I'm trying to understand. While I'm manifesting him, I feel like that I miss him and I control. I don't see the rest of that message there. What's up? Welcome to Mo. Hey, bestie. I got to respond to you, by the way. Well, anyway, we'll just pick up from what you said, okay? Yeah. When you're manifesting your SP, of course you miss them, right? This is where the logical part of manifestation comes into play. Like, why would you not miss your SP? That's fucking stupid. That's stupid, right? So missing them is not coming from lack, okay? It's not, somebody asked that the other day. It's not coming from lack, because when you, or implying that they're not there, because, you know, if your husband goes on a business trip, you miss them, right? If they go anywhere, hell, if your husband, like, or your boyfriend goes out for a couple hours, you miss them. Doesn't mean that you're not together. You know, doesn't mean that that's a lack, you know, or implying that you don't have them. No, that's not what that means at all. Okay. A lot of you guys aren't living with your SPs, right? So like, let's say you're in contact and you're spending time together. They're not necessarily living with you. So if they're not living with you, it doesn't mean you don't miss them when you're not together. Of course you do. That's part of a relationship. So there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I don't give a damn. When I say leverage the law, what do I mean? I mean, you take the premises of the law and you leverage. So this is where it's like everyone is you pushed out, right? So you say, okay, if I know that everyone is me pushed out and based on my assumptions, then what do I want to assume that they're thinking about me? That's leveraging the law, right? Then it's saying, okay, well, if everyone in my reality is based on my assumptions of them, then what do I want to assume about gutter trash? Leveraging the law. So it just doesn't go to SP. It goes to whoever is in your life, right? And you're like, well, gutter trash is part of my reality at the current second. So I'm going to leverage everyone as you pushed out and create an assumption that benefits me. Okay. So same with if what we know pushes out. So then you have to know, okay, if my subconscious mind has one job and that is to prove me right, then what do I want it to prove me right about? But at the same time, my subconscious mind also takes me at my word, okay? It does not have the ability to decide or to form an opinion, so it takes me at my word. Also, in manifestation, we also know that what we know pushes out. So then how do we leverage that to work for us? And we say, okay, well, I'm going to tell myself that I know something enough. Because if I say, I know he loves me, I know he's in love with me, I know he's in love with me, I know he's in love with me. If you know that everything is based on repetition, well, if your subconscious mind has one job to prove you right and pushes out what you know, then if you told your subconscious mind that you know something, what do you think it's going to push out? What you said you know. Okay, that's also leveraging the law. And then it's making things work for you instead of against you. So it's like, okay, I know that manifestation's instant. And so a lot of things that I know or that I think one time, mostly it's the negative. Well, oftentimes it's the negative. But if I say something one time and I think something one time and it pushes out because it's manifesting, well, then how can I leverage that? So instead of saying negative shit only one time, then what would happen if I actually said, because there's that thing like what you can speak something into existence, right? So it's like, okay, so then I can think something or say something one time that's positive and not think about it again and have that push out. What's the difference? What's the difference? There's no difference. It's the law of opposites. Where there's hot, there's cold, positive, there's negative, ups, there's down, good and bad. Okay, so if it doesn't only work one direction, so it's not like, oh, well, it only pushes out if it's negative, if I think about a negative thought one time. No, not at all. So what happened if you said something positive and didn't think about it again? Then that now is manifesting and that's pushing out. And then it's saying, okay, there's a delay in manifestation. There's a delay in the 3D. So how could I leverage the delay in the 3D? Okay, so my SP sometimes we bicker. Sometimes not bicker, but sometimes my SP pisses me off, says something I don't fucking like. Okay, well, there's a delay in the 3D. So instead of cussing him out and giving him a piece of my mind, I'm gonna kindly hang up that fucking phone or remove myself from the situation, and I'm gonna cuss his ass out to myself. And then when I'm done, because there's a delay, I'm gonna flip that shit as soon as I'm done. But I gotta get it out. I have to get it out. Because you don't want to bottle it up, right? Because this is where people say too much and explode because they bottled it up. They pushed it aside. So I'm going to let it out and then I'm going to flip that shit when I'm done. I feel better because I let it out. No harm done. Why? Because there's a delay for our safety. So you leverage the delay. Okay. So those are like many, many situations on how I teach you to leverage the law. Okay, is we have to say, okay, if this is a fact in law of assumption, then how can I bend the law to work in my favor, right? So that's where I said where we affirm gutter trash away. Because if I affirm something enough in my life when it comes to SP, and he conforms because he doesn't have a choice, they must conform and must push out, then why can't I affirm against gutter trash and have that also push out? It's the same fucking thing, but you're leveraging. Okay. So this is where it's all about taking the core principles and then saying, okay, how can I make this work in my favor? And then that's leveraging the law. That's what gets you results, is leverage. What do I do if my SP said we can only be together when I have my license? Huh? Yes, Paige, that is a circumstance. That is a circumstance. You can only be together if you have your license. Why? Because he wants you to drive on dates? That's weird. Be like, no, actually, he doesn't give a shit if I have my license or not. He could care less. In fact, he loves to take me around. He loves to drive me everywhere. He constantly has to drive me everywhere. Okay? Yes, Lisa, with the butterfly. The better assumptions you have of yourself, this is a self-concept thing. This is what causes people to chase you, is because the better assumptions you have of yourself, the SP has to assume the same about you, right? So it's like, what do I want him to assume about me? So I need to assume that about myself, and he has to assume the same about me. Because everyone is you pushed out. So it's the same in everyone's reality, even if they're not actively consciously creating. If they're not consciously creating, it doesn't matter. It's still the same thing over and over and over again. Everyone is you pushed out over and over again. So it's like, okay, if they have to show up in my reality based on my assumptions of them, then that also means that I have to show up in their reality based on their assumptions of me. So what do I want to assume that they think about me? So I have to assume that about myself. Therefore, they assume that about me. And we got a whole fucking romance in paradise. That's, again, I don't give a damn. Another way to leverage the law is you want them to assume. See, that's the thing, is you guys are focused on them. But a lot of you are forgetting, if you had a tumultuous breakup, okay? If you had a dramatic breakup or a series of events after the breakup, what do you want them to assume about you? Because right now, they have their own assumptions of you, okay? So do you want them to assume that you're fucking crazy, that you're a lunatic, that you're unstable, that you're unhinged, that you are chaos, that you are nothing but a headache to them, like you're dramatic, all of that stuff, you're a stalker, whatever you did. Do you want them to believe that about you? Or do you want to start assuming something different about yourself now? Like, no, I'm the perfect boyfriend. I'm the perfect girlfriend. Like, literally everything is perfection with me. I'm fucking perfect in every sense of that word. And everybody loves me. And now they have to change their assumption of you to match what you assume they think about you. Okay? Because that can also stall your manifestation. Is while you're putting in all this work, you're not thinking that they also have their assumptions of you. So I need to change their assumption based on our last encounter. I think I need to change their assumption about me. So therefore, when I pop into their mind, it's a good thought. It's not a based on the last time I saw this person thought, right? Or based on their previous assumptions of you during your relationship. Instead, it's new now. Now it's like, oh, damn. He's different. They're different. And then you show them when they come back around that you're different because they're expecting, because remember, what they know is they're expecting you to do certain things based on history, because they have their own patterns too. So they're expecting you to do something based on history, but the second you blow their mind, and like, let's say you have a disagreement or they say something and old you would have been like, look, motherfucker, who the would have responded verbally. And then all of a sudden they say something and this time you're like, oh, okay. Then they're like, they're like waiting for it, and you don't give them that satisfaction anymore. That's the power, because then they're like, I've had a couple of my clients where their SPs will be like, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm better than fine. Why? Oh, I'm just curious. That's the fun part, right? Kitty cat, let me look at your stuff, because yes, there's some kind of block there, but it could be based on what you want to assume that they think about you. Okay, Ren, what are you fucking talking about? How long should you robotically affirm for contact with SP number 3? Whenever you guys have numbers, I could just imagine you have like a whiteboard and you're like, SP number 1, John. SP number 2, Brian. SP number 3, Robert. How are you in contact, but you want to text? Ain't that the same shit? Ain't that the same shit? Contact is like text or call, or maybe for you on Discord. So you don't have to affirm for contact. You can. Like, he's always calling and texting me. He's always calling and texting me. Like, literally, he's always calling and texting me. He texts me good morning every single fucking day. Okay? That could be one of your affirmations, because that was one of mine. But you can literally look at his photo and be like, you're texting me right now. You're texting me right now. Okay? I figured you got a new SP because now you got SP number 3. But Ren, you need to do things differently, bitch. You need to do things differently. You have to learn. Okay? You really have to learn from your past mistakes. You have to learn and do things different. Because if you don't, then guess what? SP number 3, your new SP, going to be just like SP number 1 and 2. You want to keep it going, okay? You want to keep the contact increasing. You don't want to go from contact to now you're blocked, just like you were blocked from the other person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want that shit, okay? Instead, you want to keep it up. You have 5 SPs. So, if you can visualize them in your mind, nothing surprises me with you, right? If you can visualize them in your mind, it still works. It still works, okay? You have 5 SPs. You're going to come on here a week from now and be like, I have 10 SPs now. I like options. Like a buffet. Oh, I know you did, Peppy. Because nothing surprises us with Ren. I have an SP in uni, 3 years. He always looks at me, but nothing more, and he soon graduates. Okay, TT, so, part 2. I want him to be serious and ask me for marriage. Okay, well, let's take a little step back. Okay, let's take a little step back. Okay, so you have an SP at a university that you've been at for 3 years. He always looks at you, but nothing more, okay? So my guess is you're not in contact. He just looks at you from afar, thinks you're hot, but hasn't contacted you. So it's a bit of a stretch for me to go from that to you want him to be serious and ask you to marry you. Okay? I mean, can you do that? Sure. But it requires discipline, especially if your 3D is completely the opposite. Okay? Completely the opposite. So instead, you want to go from looks at you to, he can't, actually, he's coming to talk to me. He talks to me all the fucking time. He cannot stop talking to me. Every time we're in class together or every time we're at school together, he's constantly talking to me, right? We want to get him talking to you first, okay? Talking to you first. Because look at it this way. If he's talking to you, okay, if he's talking to you and then you guys are hanging out and spending time together, well, now you have his phone number. So whether he graduates soon or not is irrelevant because you can still pick it up from there. Versus, unless you can literally sit there and live in the end of marriage, which most people cannot do, especially if they're in no contact, it's easier to affirm for contact first and then progress from there instead of marriage. Hey, and Wissy, happy Saturday, girlfriend. Okay. Now, everyone, SP texted me today after a year of no contact. Did you guys hear that? Let me repeat. Taco said, everyone, SP texted me today after a year of no contact and sing the opposite. Persist. Well, Bevy, you kill me, girl. Persist. Yes, persist. Unfortunately, most of you give up. Most of you give up way before that shit happens. Neville Goddard, okay, for some of the, and congrats, Taco. Now, keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it casual, right? Keep it casual. Let the conversation flow where it flows. Don't push. No need to force a 3D, okay? We don't want to force a 3D, and texting that person, texting your SP is not forcing the 3D. Confessing your undying love to him, telling him how much, oh my God, how much I missed you, and oh my God, can I see you? Can we go on a date? Can we get back together? That's forcing the 3D. Okay, versus a natural progression of getting back into contact and saying, okay, now we're back in contact. Sick. Now I need to keep it going. And the way I'm going to keep it going is by not forcing shit. Okay, like conversation, like topic wise. Okay, I don't give a damn. Neville Goddard said, you need to not need what you want for it to manifest. Do I agree? Well, I agree with some of the things Neville Goddard says, but you don't. He's not wrong there. You don't need to. You need to not need what you want. Oh, he's saying you need to not need what you want for it to manifest. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because you don't need, what it means is what I believe he would mean by that, or how I would perceive that as in, you need to not need something. That's like, okay, so who's consciously manifesting money if they don't need it? Like it's a fucking hobby for you. You know what I'm saying? You're like, no, I actually have plenty of money. I'm rich, but I'm going to manifest money because I don't need it. Usually when people manifest consciously, it's because they need something, right? Like that's fucking stupid. Who's going to manifest a house that doesn't need a house? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's, regardless of what you are manifesting, there's some level of need for it. Okay, or you wouldn't be manifesting it. Now, not everything do you need, right? Like, I don't need a big ass. I want one. There's a difference, okay? You shouldn't need to be with your SP. You should want to be with your SP, right? But it's like, I don't need to be with my SP because I'm not going to die tomorrow if we're not together. You know what I mean? So you don't need to be with this person. You want to. There's a difference, okay? Like I said, It's not like if I'm not with her by tomorrow, I'm literally going to lose my oxygen and die. That's not how that works. That's not what you're telling yourself. So I don't give a damn. Don't read too into it. Don't look at it like you need to, because you don't need to be with your SP. You don't. You're not with her at this current second, right? So it's not like you need to be with her. You want to be with her. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's nothing wrong with wanting something. Okay. But when it comes to other things, like, please. Okay. The girl who he told to say, "Isn't it wonderful?" Because he's kind of contradicting himself, to be quite frank. Because the girl he said to tell, "Isn't it wonderful?" needed a gang of shit. She needed money. She needed a car. She needed a place to live. You see what I'm saying? She needed a lot of things. She needed a lot of shit. Neville Goddard wasn't like, "Well, you need all this stuff, so sorry, it's not going to manifest for you." That's not what he said at all. Instead, he told her that before she goes to bed at night to say, "Isn't it wonderful?" So that's what she did. So that's kind of a contradicting statement coming from somebody who clearly proved that not to be true. Because the person he told to say, "Isn't it wonderful?" to manifested everything she fucking wanted, everything she needed, and more within 6 to 9 months. So that debunked that statement. He debunked his own statement. See? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? That's what I'm saying. Neville Goddard was one person. So we have to ask ourselves, does that make sense? He literally debunked his own statement. Isn't that ironic? Isn't that ironic? I should teach Neville Goddard's teachings. Just kidding. I would never do that because some things that he said don't make sense. And that's okay because I'm Jen and he's Neville. I imagine you have all of RSP's pics behind your phone. Yes, I am, Lisa. Taylor. She said, "I don't even like 5 people." I know, me too. Me too, right? It's like, let me just find 5 people to like just in case. So one sticks. Brandy, hubby is barely speaking to me today, sitting in the same room. I'm being pleasant, making conversation. I don't care, Brandy. Control your inner conversations. Control your inner conversations and the version of your SP. Control the version of your husband. This is where persistent comes into play in perfect husband. He's constantly talking to me. Like, he can't stop. Every time we're together, he can't shut the fuck up. Okay, he's constantly, like, we have the best conversations when we're together. He's completely, totally present when we're together. And we have the best conversations. In fact, our conversations when we're together are the highlight of his day. Okay, Eddie tips on how to have a good night with him. Yeah, perfect boyfriend. Perfect husband. Perfect husband. No matter what version is showing up right now, because if you won't react to the version of your SP that's showing up right now, he will shift. He will shift very quickly and could literally shift, by tonight. You could have a whole different SP. That's what this is about. Sabrina, I'm too picky to have 5 SPs. Me too, sis. Me too. That's exhausting. I would have no time. One is enough for me, let alone multiples. I'd be like, And then what do you do? This is how my mind would work. It's like, what do you do if you fuck up their name, right? Like you call Brad John. Ooh. I find like that would be me. I find that would be me. Where I would, the more SPs, the more I'm fucking confused with their names. Now, all of a sudden, Brian is John and Henry is Larry. And then I'm in trouble. Because now I got a lot of explaining to. They're like, who the hell is John? You're like, I'm sorry, what? John. I don't know what you're talking about. What John? You just said John. No, I didn't. Yeah. And Brandy, you can also control the night, right? Like, we're going to have the best night tonight. Like, we're literally going to have the best night together tonight. The best night together. What would you say if someone wants their ex back and wants that the ex didn't have gutter trash? Well, yeah. It's a good one, Katie. Well, yeah, most people want their SPs back. And obviously, if there's gutter trash, that's what we call third parties here, gutter trash. Obviously, they don't want the gutter trash around, right? That's kind of the given. So I teach you guys, I've made a series of videos. I won't talk about it again today because I think I've talked about it twice already today. But I've made a series of videos and I could talk about it again tomorrow. But if you go back and watch this live tomorrow, toward the beginning, it's actually probably in like the first 10 minutes, I talk about how to get rid of gutter trash. I'm good at it. And gutter trash, you can get rid of gutter trash real fucking fast. Real fast. Gutter trash is not hard to get rid of. And is quite quick too. If you do what I said, of course. Okay. The old version is getting hit with the broom, and the best version has me cooking dinner. Scarecrow 1,000%. If you truly think that you have it, no matter what, it is yours. Yes. Unfortunately, that's where I like manifesting in steps, because because it's hard for people. People have a hard time controlling their thoughts now and not wavering. So to think as if it's already yours, people struggle with, especially if their 3D shows the opposite. But if you do what I said, and that's know the ending of this movie, you know exactly how this ends. Loyal, committed relationship together, then that's what it's going to be. But you have to control your thoughts. SP just replied again, but not in the way I wanted him to reply. He's keeping his distance. No, he's not, Nicole. Yeah, he's not keeping his distance. In fact, every time this guy messages you, every time he texts you, it brings you closer together. Yeah. Every time he texts you, it's bringing you closer together. Closer together. Okay? What up, Mimi? Meh. First of all, you need to stop identifying your specific person with loving somebody else. The only person that motherfucker loves is you, bitch. Is you. That's the only person that person loves, and you need to see that side of him. You all need to see that side of your SPs. But we'll get into that in a sec. Whiplash. What's the next step after consistent communication? Next step is constantly spending time together. Okay? Constantly spending time together. Assuming you're local. Well, somewhat local. Would be constantly spending time together. Okay? If you're not local, like let's say you're long distance, then it could be he'll do anything to be in a relationship with me right now. He'll do anything to be in a relationship with me right now. Okay? I'm the love of his life. Ow, good. Good, Andy. Jen, why am I getting a feeling he's going to come over? I always affirm whenever I hear a motorcycle, he's coming over. Good, Lisa. Good. Because He is coming over. Duh. Duh. He's coming over, bitch. But then see, that's the sign. See, that's also, I don't give a damn how you leverage, right? You leverage by leveraging signs, right? Because everyone loves a good sign. But signs and synchronicities, there's no scientific backing that 222, 111, 444 are signs. There's none of that, except in the spirituality community, they want you to think that. But that's where we leverage to say, okay, like Neville Goddard says, birds before land, right? So it's like, okay, so if I see signs, if birds before land are a sign that my manifestation is here, that it's coming quickly, that it's on its way, well then great, then every fucking thing is a sign. Everything's a sign. I don't care what sign it is. Everything's a sign. And you assign meanings, like how Lisa said, every time she hears a motorcycle, that means he's coming to see her, right? So that's how you would leverage signs, is saying, okay, cool. Well, I want everything. In my reality, everything is a goddamn sign. Everything's a sign. So every time I hear a car, when they turn that shit off, I don't know. Every time I hear a car start, that means my man coming to see me. See what I'm saying? You're not NYC, just stay the course. Just stay the course, girl. How long does it take to manifest when you're doing it? There's MVP, there's no right or wrong answer to that. I don't stop at contact. Okay. Like I was telling somebody today that I'm manifesting for, I said, I need you to report movements, because let's say I bring you back in contact. I've brought several people back in contact within less than 48 hours. Okay. So it's like, okay, let's say you get contact with your SP. I need to know, because I'm going to coach you through how to keep the contact going. This is where most people don't do that. They'll manifest for you and they'll be like, I got contact. They're like, okay, job done. Best of luck to you. That's not what I do. I coach you on how to keep the contact going. Okay. So it's like, now you're keeping the contact going. That's, you have to play the part. Okay. So now you're keeping the contact going. Now I move on, not from your SP, but I move on with your SP. I move forward with your SP, so that you're keeping the contact going and I move on to the next step. Okay. Things like that. But there's no right or wrong answer. I have people that have gotten insane results in a very short amount of time. What if you had contact and it's like slowly decreasing? I don't know if he's moving on. Okay, well, that's a problem. Mojito. That's a problem. Okay, is you're getting in your thoughts. So if you have contact, but it's slowly decreasing, you're telling yourself that he's moving on. Okay, you're telling yourself that he's moving on, which, guess what? The contact is going to go this way and not this way. So absolutely not. No, he texts me all day, every day. He literally texts me all day, every day. Okay. You need to persist in that, and only assign the meaning that you want to everything that he says or does. Do not give it a negative meaning. Nothing has meaning until you give it a meaning. So only give it the meaning that you want it to have, not the meaning you don't want it to have. It makes no sense for you guys to keep giving meanings that you don't like, that you don't want it to have. So instead, it's like, absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. Okay? Like, no, I don't think so. Okay? All right. I got to jet in a second, guys, because I'm way beyond the 3 hours. But that's the thing. Mojito, listen, read your words. He's inconsistent. Well, therefore his texting is inconsistent. Because you're focused on your reality. You're focused on what is happening now in your 3D, and you're like, it's inconsistent. So it has to continue to be inconsistent, versus you. This is where delusional comes into play, where you say, absolutely not. He's constantly texting me. He literally is constantly texting me. Like, he's texting me right now, in fact, constantly, cannot stop talking to me. Okay. And you push forward in consistency, in contact. Okay. I want all of you here. If you guys are new, then I'll give you one pass. But I need you all here to stop giving a shit what comes out of their mouth. Who cares? Who gives a fuck what they say? Who cares what they say? All they're doing is confirming what you're thinking about, even if you only thought about it one time. So stop listening to them. Stop it. All you hear whenever they tell you anything you don't want to fucking hear, all you hear is wah, 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 wah. What? Come again? I don't fucking think so. What did you say? I'm sorry, I still can't hear you. Still can't fucking hear you. That's right, because I don't hear shit I don't like. So you need to stop hearing what you don't like. Who gives a fuck what they say? Course correct it in your mind. Fix it in your mind. You don't fold. You don't quit. You don't give up because they said some shit you don't like. And now you're like, oh, they've moved on. They don't love me. They love somebody. Excuse me? I don't fucking think so. Change it in your mind again and again and again. I don't care how often it comes up. I don't give a shit if it comes up 55,000 times today. Change it again. Change it 55,000 fucking times. I don't give a shit. You need to not accept what they say unless it is exactly what you wanted to hear. If it is not what you wanted to hear, then reject. Reject, reject, reject. Change in your mind. Change it in your mind over and over and over and over and over again. And keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. Period. Who gives a fuck? You need to start seeing them differently. Because then what the fuck are you doing? Why are you manifesting them back if you just want them to be an asshole? For fucking what? No, I don't think so. You said something I don't like. Okay, this is feedback. I'm going to change the shit in my mind. Oh, let me go ahead and add that into your description too, because I'm not liking how you're talking to me. Nope, I don't think so. Let me go ahead and change that into my description as well. Over and over and over again. There is no way. The fuck? Stupid ass puzzle piece. Oh my God. Don't they know I'm busy? Puzzle piece. Anyway, change it in your mind over again and over and over again. Add it into your description, the opposite of what the fuck they told you. Again and again and again. And persist in only that. Keep persisting in what you want, not what you don't want. Because you keep doing that and it's fucking you up. It's messing you up. Versus, I don't give a shit and I don't care if they told you that crap 12 hours ago. Who gives a shit? I don't think so. Cry, process, wipe those fucking tears and pick your head up and move forward. And persist until it shows up exactly how you want it to. There's no reason you guys should be over here listening to what the fuck they're saying. At all. At all. You either whisper sweet nothings in my ear or shut the fuck up, as far as I'm concerned. Because I'm not going to listen to shit I don't want to hear. You could talk all you want, but I didn't hear a goddamn thing. Instead, what I heard is how much you worship the ground that I walk on and how in love with me you are. That's all I fucking heard, is how much you're in love with me. And you can't imagine your life without me in it. I'm sorry, is that what you just said? That's what I thought. That's all you need to do is persist. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry about all this stupid shit that they told you, that they hurt your feelings, that they said this, they said fucking that. Who gives a shit? Who cares? Because you know what? I don't care. And you'll say exactly what I want you to say. And I'm going to keep saying it to myself. And I'm going to put it in my description until you conform exactly how I want you to. And don't think you're leaving a goddamn thing out of my description. I don't think so. I don't think so. They're like builded SP. However you fucking want them to show up for you is exactly how they're going to show up for you. Do you understand? So get a grip. Get a grip right now. I tell you guys, the one thing that no one should ever be able to take from you is your fucking thoughts. That's the one thing you're in control of. That's the one thing you're in control of is your mind. So control it. Don't ever give that power to any fucking body. Not your SP, not anybody. Your thoughts are your thoughts. So let them be your thoughts, not someone else's thoughts. Let them be your mind. It's not someone else's mind, it's yours. And you know that the only way you can consciously manifest is by controlling your mind. So control it. Over and over and over again. Control it. Stop doing this to yourself. There. Every day. I'm sure tomorrow there'll be more people on here. Well, Jen said. Well, he said this. Well, he said that. Well, he fucking hurt my feelings. Well, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? What the hell was that? Huh. Somebody invited me to do this whole group session. Okay. So I need you to get a grip. Okay? Mimi, how do I manifest? I meet with you after you check out. Links are in my bio. I meet with you and then we jump on a quick call. We recreate your SP on the spot together. I tell you the role that you have to play your part. And then, oh, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. And then I get to work. So I just need a photo of your SP and their name. And then I have a little chatty chat with your SP every fucking day until they conform. The difference is I don't have any resistance to your SP. I don't know them from Adam. So I don't have any resistance. Oh, Shelby, yes. I already answered this question before. Yes. You have to see the version of your SP as the version you want them to be for you. Okay? If you want them to be of your sexual orientation or your sexual preference, that is who they are. That's what you have to say. You cannot sit there and tell them, you cannot sit there and identify them as being straight and then expecting them to all of a sudden be into you. That's not how that works. So you have to identify their sexual orientation in a way that you want them to be for you, and then how you want them to feel about you. And only that. But don't identify them as being straight. Okay? Because if you identify them as being straight, they're going to be straight as a rod. And again, you ladies, don't get any weird ass ideas. Unless you want to make that work for you when it comes to, gutter trash. Can't possibly be with your SP when they're gay. I'm just saying. Gotta leverage the law. You can have them be whoever you want for you. And yes, Asma, you can. You can change their religion. You can change whatever you want about them. You can absolutely change your religion. And you can literally say, yes, Jess. Yes, you get given affirmations. I give you the affirmations to use. I give you all of that. I give you the whole plan. It's a very simple plan. But yeah, you can change their religion. You can change, technically, yes, they can, they can change anything about you if they're consciously manifesting, but oftentimes they're not, and they're not persistent in it, right? Because who the hell thinks that they want to, change their, what's it called? It's who the heck is no, it's more than that, Jimmy. Hey, Vessel. It's more than that. Okay. They'd have to persist in that version. But most people believe, other than in your reality, because you're consciously creating, most people believe that everyone has free will. I'm totally fine with letting people keep their assumptions if it benefits me. I'm like, absolutely, everyone has free will. Which, in all honesty, they do have free will, okay? Everyone in your reality does have free will. But you're directing their thoughts about it because because whatever you think become their thoughts. So it's still free will, but they're thinking the thoughts that you want them to think instead. Okay. I'm manifesting, Smiley, a gang. I'm manifesting for a gang of people. I wouldn't say permanently, Jimmy, because if you think I want to manifest all the way up till marriage, I have to move on at some point. So no, right now, some people do have time limits, like 7 days. And I'm like, what happens after 7 days though? Nothing. So, right now, because I haven't put a time limit on it, I will do it, until you, get back in a relationship with your SP, but I'm not going to play a but I'm also not going to play a dog and pony show with your ass either. Okay, so like this happened to one person where I brought them back in contact. Within 48 hours, they got contact again after no contact. And then she fucked it up. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to keep bringing you back in contact for you to fuck it up again. So then I brought them back in contact. And now she's doing amazing. Now they're doing amazing because I'm moving on. All I have to do is bring them back in contact. And then I'm like, okay, now you take over the contact part. And then I move on to the next phase. And now they're doing amazing. They're absolutely doing amazing. Right? But I'm not going to keep manifesting contact. You fuck it up, contact, fuck it up, contact. No, I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that. At some point, I'm going to be like, dude, you're on your own, bro. Do I start in months? No, I know. It's not a big thing, guys. It's not like I have a whole seance. Yeah, girly pop, send me a message. I walk you through how to keep it up, Mojito. I walk you through how to keep it up, okay? How to keep it going. But mainly, you don't force the 3D, right? No need to beg, plead, do all that shit. No need to beg, plead, and do all that, okay? You don't need to do any of that. Okay, so instead it's like, keep it casual. Yeah, the maintenance is on your part, but I help you maintain it, Jimmy, by understanding where you went wrong and having a plan of attack. Okay? So Jess, I start quickly. I'm manifesting for over 60 people at the current second. I think it's up to that. It's probably more than that. But I run through them. My boyfriend might think I'm on Tinder, but that's totally fine. He was sitting at the computer desk, and I was sitting at the table. And the table's a little bit elevated. And I'm all sifting through photos, and a majority of them are male photos. Yeah, because your SPs are hot. I'll give you guys credit. And I'm all sifting through. Oh no, Smile, I always change it after this. And I kept seeing him look at my phone, and he's like, who are all those guys? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm working. So, no, what's funny is there's a lot of you guys that we're always manifesting. Yeah, he is, Jackie. We're always manifesting, and you guys have to understand that so many of you guys have manifested things for me, not nice things. Thank you very fucking much. Thank you very much. But you guys will like say something. You guys will like throw a comment out there, and all of a sudden it manifests in my life. I'm like, you motherfuckers. Yeah, there you go. I told my boyfriend that before. I was like, you think I'm going to the recording room to go live on TikTok? Joke's on you. Joke's on you. We're doing rituals around here. That's what we think we're going live on TikTok. Of course it keeps them. So it's like, but all of these things is you'll say something one time, or I'll say something one time, and I won't think about it again. Somebody asked before I jet here, is they said, why is it the negative things tend to manifest quickly? Because you don't really think about it often. Okay? Yes, Bevy with James's candles. Flashy, we were talking about my boyfriend thinks I'm going live on TikTok every day, and joke's on him because we're doing seances around here. But it's because you're not dwelling on the shit. Okay? and you don't necessarily want the bad things, right? You don't want the bad shit. Okay. So because of that, you don't really think, you don't overthink it. You don't overanalyze it. You're not dwelling on it. You're not doing all of that. There you go, Shanti. So because you're not doing all of that, the negative shit tends to manifest quickly. Now, when it comes to the positive stuff, we tend to be like, now we tend to overthink it. We tend to try too hard. We tend to do all of these things. And now it's like, and then we think against it, because you have to realize that we've been so conditioned in society from, based upon how old you are now, your entire life, your thoughts have been running on autopilot. So now you're trying to do something different, but that takes a little bit of effort, because up until now, you've just been thinking whatever the fuck you wanted to think your entire time, right? But you weren't over here like trying to manifest the negative shit. So therefore, a lot of times it pushes out because hey, James bestie, we're about to jet off of here. We're about to get off. But that's why, is when we consciously create, we want something. That's why we're consciously creating it. But sometimes you guys tend to try too hard. You tend to do all that, versus if you would just be like, I didn't have to try it for the negative shit. I just thought about it. I wasn't going down this whole rabbit hole. Like, I really hope that manifests. Oh my God, I really want the negative shit to manifest. You didn't do all that. So we got to stop doing that. Okay? We got to stop doing it. Let me check, Jess. If you can send me a message, that'd be great. Send me a DM, okay? And then I'll, what do you mean what happened? Oh, what happened for when people would do stupid shit for me? So, it would be like something silly. So I was talking about how I used to talk about former gutter trash on here, but I stopped talking about her. Because I was keeping her in my reality and I didn't want that. And somebody on here made a comment and said, I wonder if she watched, she said, I think somebody on here said, I wonder if she watches your TikTok live replays. And I was talking to a person, I was talking to a client of mine, and I was like, yeah, I said, apparently she stalks all my social media, but she never watches it, but at least she doesn't know about my TikTok and my YouTube channel. Care to guess what she found 72 hours later? My YouTube channel. So, see what I'm saying? I said it once. So, it showed up. Okay? There's a lot of things that you'll literally say one time, and you can say it as a joke. But remember, your subconscious mind doesn't know what's true and what's not true for you. It takes you at your word. So it doesn't know if you're joking at all. It doesn't know if you're joking. So if you may say something as a complete joke and it pushes out and you were like, wait, I wasn't serious. It was a joke. Doesn't matter. Okay. Same with negative shit. Is your subconscious mind isn't like, is that a negative thought we're having here? I think that's a negative thought. I don't think we're going to push it. No, that's not how it works. It takes you at your word. All right. We're not doing that anymore. All right. All right, guys. I love you. I got to jet now because I got to go to the bathroom again. And I'm hungry. I'm going to have fried chicken. I ordered KFC last night. A shit ton of it. What's wrong with me? Bye, besties. All right. I love you guys. And I, of course, most likely I'll be live for a little bit tomorrow. But I go live every day at 10 o'clock Pacific time. And so if you ever miss a live, You can head on over to my YouTube channel, watch the replay there. In fact, mute the volume, let it play. Subscribe while you're there. So help me engage in there so I can help me get my watch hours up so that therefore I can get more people to realize how to manifest, their recipes the right way, the way that actually fucking works because I've done it. I manifested my SP from no contact to living with me in 4 weeks. So I'm good at it. And I've helped hundreds of people get massive movement, if not back together with their SPs in a very short amount of time when nothing else fucking worked before. Okay. Yeah. Also, if you're interested in having me manifest for you, you want one-on-one coaching with me to figure out where you're going wrong, we do the same thing. We recreate your SPs on the spot, give you affirmations, and I tell you exactly where you went wrong so we can get it right. Then so all the links are in my bio. YouTube, everything's in my bio. I also have a private WhatsApp community. Join that bad boy. Get inspired by all the success stories, and I'm going to be putting massive content fire in there for you guys as well. All right. Plus, you also get coaching in the WhatsApp group too. So definitely join. All right. All right, guys. I love and I have text coaching. I have guided meditations and hypnosis audios, whatever your pleasure. All in the bio. All right. I love you, besties, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.